That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
6 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. Monday, August 19th, our top story. The DNC kicks off in Chicago.
I'm Erik Bilstad. High-profile cases begin and end in Milwaukee County.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Looking pretty good across the entire area. No major delays around and no major incidents either. So we're looking good. That's your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Partly cloudy skies today. Just an isolated shower or sprinkle is possible. A bit on the breezy side as well with a high of just 75 degrees. Mainly clear skies tonight. Open up the windows. 59 degrees. Your low temp. Right now it's 63 in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Decision Wisconsin, Democratic National Convention gets underway today in Chicago. President Joe Biden expected to deliver tonight's keynote address. Big week for the Democrats, but presumptive nominee Vice President Kamala Harris and running mate Governor Tim Walz are not taking their eyes off the ultimate goal.
The geography of the DNC provides Harris a unique opportunity to make a quick trip to battleground state Wisconsin, something she'll do on Tuesday.
I know if you've watched the past couple of weeks, they're going to be barnstorming the battleground states all across this country to keep sharing their vision for the future.
DNC Senior Director of Communications Matt Hill.
This is a moment for us, not just here in Chicago, but across the nation, to energize, organize, and mobilize as we head into the next stretch of this election.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Tuesday's event at Fiserv Forum, the vice president expected to officially accept the Democratic presidential nomination on Thursday.
Meanwhile, Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance will be back in southeast Wisconsin tomorrow, just days after visiting Milwaukee. Vance will be in Kenosha Tuesday. His appearance comes the same day as that rally at Fiserv Forum.
Other stories we're on top of this morning. 4 men accused of killing a man outside a Milwaukee downtown hotel are due in court this morning for preliminary hearings. Todd Erickson, Devin Johnson Carson, Brandon Turner, and Herbert Williamson all face felony charges in the death of Devontae Mitchell outside the Hyatt Regency Hotel in late June. Both Johnson, Carson, and Williamson have posted their $5,000 cash bail, while Erickson and Turner remain in custody.
Woman found guilty of reckless homicide in a high-profile murder case will hear her sentence today. Crystal Kaiser pleading guilty to the charge connected to a 2018 death of Randall Volar, who Kaiser argued was trafficking her for sex when she was just 17 years old. Now, Kaiser's lawyers argued she was justified in her actions under a Wisconsin state law that allows one to be acquitted of all charges if a crime was committed as a direct result of being trafficked. Reckless homicide carries a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison.
Man from Onalaska convicted in the fatal 2021 shootings of 3 men whose bodies were found outside a western Wisconsin quarry.
We, the jury, find Nia Tao guilty as to count 1 as charged in the information.
Nia Tao was found guilty on all 3 counts of murder last week in the shooting deaths outside a quarry northeast of La Crosse, all over a disputed $600. A woman who had been with the victims told police that a second suspect, Kemteneth Ratanasek, gave Tao the gun Tao used to shoot them multiple times. Ratanasek was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole last January. Tao will learn his fate October 14th. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Following breaking news out of Tel Aviv, where a suicide bombing has taken place. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Israel, meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other top Israeli officials about the importance of a ceasefire.
I'm here as part of an intensive diplomatic effort on President Biden's instructions to try to get this agreement to the line and ultimately over the line. It is time for it to get done.
The White House is trying to secure an agreement on the first of a 3-phase plan by the end of this week.
Tomorrow, former Republican Congressman George Santos of New York expected to plead guilty to multiple counts in his federal fraud case. News Nation's Caitlin Becker.
Plea agreements, you usually get a lesser sentence than you would should you be found guilty of all of these charges. So the max here, we're talking about 20 years. So we expect something far less than that, possibly no jail time at all, because if he's going to cop this plea deal, it seems much more likely that they will be lenient on him. However, that doesn't happen until the penalty phase of the criminal process. Now, Nancy Marks, who is his campaign treasurer, also pleaded guilty. She's going to be sentenced in November, so we could potentially see something around that time frame.
Santos has previously pleaded not guilty to a range of financial crimes.
Coming up, trouble in the waters at home and abroad.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:04.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, I'm Jeff Levering alongside Gina Della from Pella.
Thanks, Jeff. How do you say welcome?
With a new entry door from Pella.
Say it with color.
Like baseball bat oak or foul pole yellow?
Say it with class.
Like following players' unwritten baseball rules.
With clarity.
Like a no-doubter shot off the scoreboard?
Or with confidence.
Like an overachieving first-place team who experts predicted would be below average this season.
Before saying welcome with your new entry door from Pella, secure an incredible deal.
Like a ruthless baseball player's agent. Here's a deal you cannot pass up.
Right now, get 0% interest for up to 60 months with no money down and equal payments.
That's the ball game. A Pella walk-off.
Your new entry door from Pella is installed and warranted by Pella for years of comfort and durability.
Don't miss out on 0% interest for up to 60 months with no money down and equal payments.
Schedule your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 8/31/2024.
It's Heiser's end of summer sizzling savings event, and these deals are hot. Save big on sleek sedans, powerful SUVs, and rugged trucks. Perfect for epic weekend getaways, road trips, or just cruising around town. Customers are our top priority. We're all about giving you the best car buying experience ever. And with our exclusive Safe and Sound program, have peace of mind for the whole family. So what are you waiting for? Stop in or shop online today. At Heiser, today's your day.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Time for another new coat of paint on your house? Get Rhino Shield ceramic coating. You won't have to paint again for 25 years guaranteed. Right now, get $1,500 off with 12 months same as cash financing. Visit rhinoshieldwis.com or call 262-483-2566.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:07.
A little bit early to hear this from your head coach. We'll hear from Packers head coach Matt LaFleur about whatever that was Sunday night coming up in sports.
People are asked to stay out of Lake Michigan due to life-threatening waves and strong currents. A beach hazard statement in effect until tomorrow afternoon. Waves could be 3 to 5 feet. Now, late Sunday, crews rescued several people from the water at Bender Beach and the Elm Road boat launch in Oak Creek. At least 2 of those were taken to the hospital suffering injuries. We'll get you the complete WTMJ 5-day forecast here in 3 minutes.
A sailboat believed to be carrying foreign tourists capsized and sunk off the coast of Sicily.
The vessel went down in bad weather. 15 people were rescued from the 160-foot yacht, but 7 others are listed as unaccounted for. A helicopter and rescue boats from the Coast Guard remain at the scene searching. Divers have located the wreck at a depth of 163 feet. The boat was flying a British flag and had mostly British passengers on board, but also other nationalities. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Sci-fi horror scared up the biggest audience at the movie theaters this weekend.
Talk about staying power. The latest installment of the 45-year-old movie franchise Alien Romulus topped the box office this weekend, earning an estimated $41.5 million.
I have no idea how to save it alone.
Disney Studios, not to be outdone, scored a respectable second-place finish with Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine, earning $29 million in its 4th weekend in theaters. And the romantic drama It Ends With Us landed in 3rd place with $24 million in ticket sales. I'm Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Man, I know you said like Alien and stuff, like because I'm into that, but too scary.
Yeah, they may have changed it a little bit.
Too scary.
It used to be like psychological thriller. Like the first Alien is incredible. Like that's an incredible creation of a movie. Now there might just be shock.
Too scary.
I got
enough problems. 6:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
The Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions.
The Bucks in 6 podcast presents a special series commemorating the Bucks championship run in 2021. From the thrilling Game 7 overtime victory against the Nets.
Durant shooting, got it at the buzzer. No, it's a 2-pointer.
To the 50-point statement made by Giannis in the finals.
A 50-point game. That's the stuff of legend.
Immerse yourself in the sounds of each playoff round with Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know Fleet Farm's got everything for everyday life. But did you also know we have the best prices guaranteed every day? pet food, wild bird food, automotive, hunting, fishing, farming, you name it. All your everyday essentials, all at the best prices guaranteed. And if you happen to find a lower price elsewhere, we'll match it. Any day, every day. Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life at the best prices guaranteed.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at twomenandajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Traffic is sponsored by 2 Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't. What's happening, Debbie?
Not much. We're looking at a nice quiet ride so far this morning. No major incidents up on the board. No slowing either, so everything's looking great. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny skies for this morning. Will turn partly cloudy this afternoon. Only the small chance for a brief rain shower or sprinkle. Most areas stay dry with high temperatures in the mid-70s. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Low temperatures fall into the 50s. On Tuesday, mostly sunny skies. Highs in the lower 70s. Wednesday, more sunshine. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Thursday, upper 70s. More sunshine, and the quiet weather continues into Friday. Partly cloudy skies with high temperatures near 80. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore. The Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Right now, it's 63 degrees in Milwaukee.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
Coming up on 6:12 on this Monday morning, busy Monday morning here on Wisconsin's Morning News. 3 quick pieces of election news to start you out this morning. News on 2 alternate party candidates on the ballot here in Wisconsin for November 5th. But first, Democratic National Convention kicking off today in Chicago.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz barnstorming critical Pennsylvania. Sunday, they're kind of the last burst of campaigning from over the weekend. And then we come right into tonight where the capstone speech is going to be President Biden himself.
ABC News Washington Bureau Chief Rick Klein setting the stage. WTMJ will have people on the convention each day spanning the states. Kristen Bry will be there through the week. Erik is headed down today.
Yeah, get a taste of it. We'll see how it goes.
And Wisconsin's Afternoon News live for the convention Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with our setup there. Wisconsin Election Commission, meanwhile, dismissed a complaint filed by Democrats seeking to remove the Green Party and presidential nominee Dr. Jill Stein from the Wisconsin presidential ballot November 5th. This is a big decision. Given recent history, when Stein was on the ballot in 2016, she got about 31,000 votes inside the margin of victory for former President Trump. He won Wisconsin with her on the ballot. The commission did not allow the Green Party on the ballot in 2020. President Biden won the state by some 20,000 votes. So the DNC is planning to file a lawsuit now, seeking the courts to intervene, still trying to kick Stein off the ballot. No suit has of yet been filed, so this may not be done, but an important first ruling on that matter. And then meanwhile, the Libertarian Party will be on the ballot as well this November.
As libertarians, we are the philosophical descendants of the founders of this nation. If we don't stand up for the protections of individual rights and the limits on government that were promised to us in our Constitution, nobody else will.
That is Mike Termott. He is the vice presidential nominee for the party, Chase Oliver at the top of the ticket. Mr. Termott is an economist, former police officer. He's been an advisor in Washington, and he's going to join us live in studio this morning as he campaigns here in Wisconsin this week.
He's stumping in Brew City, eh? All right.
So many questions for him. And so I can get to the second question, we need to ask the first, which is, given what I just said, how close Wisconsin is going to be, and barring the unforeseen, Vice President Harris or former President Trump is going to win Wisconsin. And Wisconsin could play a crucial role in how goes the nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you use your vote on anyone else other than to play a role in that decision? Even if you align politically with some of these other parties, right? Are you throwing away a vote?
Yeah, well, I mean, technically, I guess you likely are, since there are 2 front runners.
So then the second question is, but if we keep thinking like that, how do we ever get
away from the 2-party
yes,
system?
viabilities of third parties or fourth parties, which we all say we want.
Yes.
I want more choices.
Right.
I don't like either of my choices, right?
You're right.
So I'm fascinated to see how Mike Termott answers that question. He's the vice presidential nominee for the Libertarians, and he'll be in studio with us at 8:40 this morning.
Annex Wealth Management. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Your family, your memories, our priority. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
You got one of those places in your house that never stays clean. You clean it up, gets dirty again. You clean it up, stuff's there again. Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Stand by for a new offer from my friends Katie and Dan. They don't want you to beat yourself up over it. You need the right tools to get organized. So let's get Inspired Closets Milwaukee on the line, and they can help you custom design actual solutions. So no more just moving stuff around. They'll provide for you drawers, cabinets, hangers, cubbies, whatever fits your needs, and the quality hardware that is not only functional but beautiful. You can stop by and see it for yourself at Inspired Closets in Waukesha. Try everything out, and then you work with the team to build your project in their 3D software so you see exactly how it's going to look and you know exactly how much it's going to cost before you start your project. And here's the deal. Tell them Vinny sent you and you get 10% discount on your project or 18 months of free financing. So you don't keep cleaning out the same space over and over again. Custom design a solution. Inspired Days start in Inspired Closets, inspiredclosetsmilwaukee.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
Packers will get back to work this week, and a lot of work they have, with one preseason game remaining. Do you want to talk about what we saw Sunday night?
What? We didn't see anything.
Right? Should we just end the Packers portion of this sportscast right here?
It was absolutely nothing. There wasn't a game being played.
Unwatchable, completely unredeemable. Like nothing fun happened.
At all.
Okay, if you stuck through the third quarter, you at least got perhaps one of the lone highlights.
Zach wants to throw it and be taken down. Drop for a safety in the end zone. Dropped by Zach Morton, first-year player out of Akron.
Packers television network on the call.
That's fun.
Sure, that was very nice. Zach Morton delivering the Packers' only points of the game against the Broncos Sunday night. That was a safety. Packers lose 27-2.
Yeah, that's Jason Wilde about
that our guys would come out with more strain, effort, grit after kind of getting humbled the other day in practice, and then to have it happen again, not where we want to be. And I think it's a good lesson for our guys in terms of it doesn't matter who's out there. If you don't put your best foot forward each and every time you go out on that field, these things happen to you. So, we're going to have to regroup, take a long, hard look in the mirror, and we got to get better. And we need that urgency from everybody.
You think it's a bit early for the regroup look in the mirror? Somebody, jeez.
But these are all second stringers
Yes.
playing first stringers. What's the point? What was the point of that last night? The whole thing was unnecessary.
I had an interesting point in one of the write-ups, too, was like, if you're the Broncos, you're not real thrilled about that either. Like,
Right.
What did you learn about your team? They're going up against the second team, third team guys. So, as Erik indicated, virtually no starters played. So, a lot of guys out there whom we will not see come September. Still, eek. Packers and Ravens Saturday noon at Lambeau Field to close out the preseason.
Do you hear that? You know what that is? That's Brewers buzz right there. Here we go. They're back. The Brewers lead the NL Central by 11 games after sweeping one of the best teams in the league. Brewers beat the Guardians 2-0 Sunday afternoon to complete the sweep thanks to Code Red Colin Ray.
Code Red!
Colin Ray threw a no-hitter through 5 2/3, gave up a single to Stephen Kwan, ultimately going 7 innings, giving up just 2 hits, no runs, Murph.
He's just been an incredible anchor. He really has. He gives you it every time out. What you see is what you get. It's who he is as a human. Every day the same.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy there. First thing he said when he talked to Lane Grindle after the game, this is the first thing Colin Ray said.
I got to give a lot of credit to Hossie behind the dish.
Yep, it's all Hossie. Eric Haas, the catcher, getting all the credit, he says. He also drove in a run, by the way, Haas did, with a fielder's choice there. Willie Adames had an RBI hit as well. That was the difference. So now with that win, what is the magic number at, Pancake?
28.
Perfect. All right.
Good. Thanks, Craig.
28. Up next, the second-place Cardinals, if you want to call them the second-place Cardinals. Tomorrow night, right here on WTMJ.
Democratic National Convention kicks off in Chicago today. We'll go live there with ABC's Jim Ryan next.
Hot dog, get your hot dogs here. Hot and fresh hot dogs.
Hot diggity dog, it's baseball season. Wisconsin's Afternoon News has partnered up with Vienna Beef to bring you Brewers Ticket Tuesday.
Tune in every Tuesday during the 3 o'clock hour for your chance to win a pair of tickets for an upcoming Tuesday home game for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Get
Nothing says summer like a hot dog and baseball, and we've got both on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
On the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here for Tri-County Contracting. You need new siding on your house, and you have no idea how to even start that project. All right, what are you going to Google it? Maybe hopefully find someone in the area, and hopefully that person is good, that company is good. Well, here's one for you. Tri-County Contracting. They've been doing it for more than 40 years in southeast Wisconsin. Family-owned, family-operated. They know what they're doing there. You can stop by their showroom and find all the different kinds of vinyl siding, the LP Smart Side, etc. That's in New Berlin. Or go to their website, tricountycontractingwi.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows, tricountycontractingwi.com.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Uline is here for the hard workers. For the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
Checking in with Debbie Lazica here at 6:21.
All right, still super-de-duper quiet out there. No major incidents or delays for that matter. Volume is just starting to wake up a little bit, but overall we're looking at a really good ride so far. Hey, be our eyes on the roads though. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Checking your Storm Team forecast for today. High of 75 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Just a chance this afternoon of an isolated shower or sprinkle. Tonight's low down to 59 under mainly clear skies. Rest of the week looks really nice. Mostly sunny skies Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Each day with highs in the 70s. Friday partly cloudy and a high of 80. Right now 62 in Milwaukee. 6:22 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Former President Donald Trump campaigning today in Pennsylvania. He started there over the weekend.
Think of this. Who would believe this? 80 days from now, we are going to defeat a communist known as Kamala Harris. She's a communist. Most radical left person ever to run for office. This is not what this country needs. We've had enough of them. We're going to win back the White House, and we're going to take back our country.
The spotlight this week will go to the Democrats as they stage their national convention just south of us in Chicago. President Biden, the keynote speaker tonight. ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan is in Chicago, live with us on Wisconsin's Morning News. Morning, Jim.
Morning, Vince. Hey, you pronounced her name right. He said Kamala. Yes. Interesting. The Wisconsin delegation, way up in the rafters. I mean, considering the importance of Wisconsin and its 95 electoral delegates, I'm kind of surprised that that's where they're seated here. I mean, all of this stuff is symbolic, including the speaker list, right? I mean, if you have if you assume, and it stands to reason over the years, that the first night of speakers is kind of the warm-up, right? And then you go through the week, the vice presidential nominee speaks on Wednesday. Then the presidential nominee caps it all off on Thursday. Well, tonight, incumbent President Joe Biden is the speaker. Is that to say that his speech is least important? Maybe. It's going to be his swan song, his political swan song after 52 years in public life. And so, and of course, handing things off then to Kamala Harris. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting night tonight, Vince.
So, Jim, Eric's headed down today. You were here in Milwaukee. Chicago's going to be a very different setup than we had here in Milwaukee. Much larger city is Chicago. And in Milwaukee, we had all that main activity in one spot downtown. Chicago will stage much of the infrastructure at McCormick Place. So for folks who know that, that's on the lakefront. And then the convention floor and all the big speeches at the United Center, that's like 6 miles away.
It is, yeah, and you also see the protesters taking the same kind of approach. Yesterday there was a large demonstration. People describing themselves as leftists marched through downtown under the watchful eye of dozens and dozens of Chicago police officers on bicycles. It was very controlled. There were permits issued for that demonstration. More demonstrations planned today out here to the west near United Center. So, yeah, they in the same way that the convention is bifurcated like that, so too are the demonstrations.
Jim, typically a DNC will bring some more high-powered, high-profile celebs or Hollywood types or musicians. Are we hearing anything about who may show up in the Windy City?
Yes. We're hearing, and I saw a list yesterday. There will be some celebrities here, including the woman who was in what was it? It was I can't even think of her name now. So many facts and figures and names going through my mind. But yeah, there will be some celebrities speaking here tonight. In fact, each night we're going to have a different celebrity acting as sort of a de facto MC of the event. Kaling, what's her first name?
Oh, Mindy. Yeah,
Mindy
from The
Mindy
Office.
Kaling,
Yeah.
That's it, from The Office. You're right, sorry. She'll be, I think she's speaking tonight. She may be the sort of the host or the MC of this evening's event. So, yeah, there will be a lot of that. And you're right. I mean, you got the John Voights over on the other side. You had Kid Rock, who was at the RNC, and here it'll be another group of celebrities.
Talking with ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan. He's in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention. So, Jim, we know the vice president is going to be in Milwaukee for a rally at Fiserv Forum on Tuesday. But is she planning to attend tonight and Tuesday as well into the evening? We're trying to figure out logistics of how she's up here, but then gets back down there Tuesday.
Well, yeah, I mean, here we have, again, this symbolism, the division of, the old guard of Joe Biden and then the Kamala Harris presence later on in the week. So I don't think she's in any rush to get here to Chicago. So it's a matter of staying out of the campaign trail and then coming in here for the big acceptance on Thursday evening. So, there's no reason. We had Donald Trump, of course, on stage every night from there in Milwaukee, coming out and sitting down and listening to the speeches and whatnot, and then giving his speech Thursday. So I think this will be more of a traditional way of handling that.
ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan live with us from Chicago this morning. Thanks, Jim.
Hey, see ya.
There are some reports that indicate that she may be in the House tonight because of the president speaking tonight, that she'd be there.
And then what about the rally Tuesday here in Milwaukee? Not a lot of information coming from the campaign about who's going to be in attendance. Can people go to that?
Well, and you'd want a full house, wouldn't you? If you're going to do it at Fiserv.
If you want to fill the house.
A lot of the main big supporters are going to be in Chicago, right? Unless they zip up.
So more information to come on that. News about your money this morning in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed Friday at 40,660. It was up about 100 points. NASDAQ up about 37 points on Friday to 17,632. And the S&P 500 will start the week at about 55.54. That was up 11 points Friday. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com.
Back in the old days, people didn't worry about power outages because power didn't exist. But we've grown fairly fond of the luxuries afforded by electrical power. So unless you want to go back in time, you need a backup plan for when the power goes out. Like a whole house backup Generac generator from Mr. Holland's Home Services. We hardwire your new generator directly into your home's electrical system. So when Mother Nature rages or the grid goes gaga, lights stay lit, the fridge stays cold, and your kids stay happy. Call Mr. Holland's Home Services to learn more about your whole house backup generator. 866-992-1717. Or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Wait, did I mention the generator is made by Generac?
Yes, you said Generac.
Good. My work here is done.
You have one more line.
Oh, right. If you want power outages to be a thing of the past, we can help.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Our house was looking kind of drab. Needed a little bit of a facelift, and I found the team that took care of it big time. It's CertaPro Painters. Each business is independently owned and operated right here in Wisconsin. Schedule your free estimate online. It's easy. CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They will come out and help you protect your home investment with quality painting. It's CertaPro Painters. They are the real deal. They did great work at our house. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Monday, August 19th. Our top story. Big names take the stage at the DNC.
I'm Erik Bilstad. A sense of unease in the Falls.
I'm Debbie Lazago. Westbound 894 just starting to get a little bit heavier now between 51st and 68th Street, so just something to keep in mind. Rest of the system looking good. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Partly cloudy skies today. Chance of an isolated afternoon shower or sprinkle and a high of 75. Right now it's 63.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. It is convention week for the Democrats. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz making their way to Chicago by way of Pennsylvania. ABC News political director Rick Klein saying President Biden, who stepped aside for Kamala Harris's campaign, will be delivering the keynote speech tonight.
Joe Biden is yesterday's news for this party right now, and it's not a mistake that he's being given a prime speaking spot on Monday. Then he goes off on vacation in California. We're going to see Vice President Harris make some appearances throughout the week, including, we're told, during President Biden's speech.
There have been protests in Chicago, and more are expected throughout the week. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is back in the Middle East. He and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meeting for about 2.5 hours this morning. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky insisting the recent incursion into Russian territory is to create a buffer zone between the countries. And severe flooding in Connecticut overnight and over the weekend. It's not, however, related to Hurricane Ernesto out in the Atlantic and headed further northward. This is ABC News.
That in limited WTMJ News Time, 6:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Democratic National Convention opens today in Chicago. President Biden and the First Lady scheduled to speak and hand the torch, as it were, to Vice President Kamala Harris. As for who else could be on the podium?
The RNC in Milwaukee had a celebrity flavor to it, featuring the likes of Hulk Hogan and Dana White. What's on tap for the DNC?
Tuesday, we're going to have a celebratory roll call in the arena, which I can tell you is going to be must-watch TV on Tuesday evening.
Matt Hill is the Senior Director of Communications for the DNC.
Both President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama, as well as President Clinton, you're going to see speakers on our stage that reflect the diversity, the strength, and the future of America.
Any surprises?
I'm not going to spill any of the beans here just yet.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Vice President Harris due to accept the Democratic nomination for president on Thursday, day after running mate Governor Tim Walz accepts the nomination for vice president.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and Senator Tammy Baldwin stumped on Sunday in Madison. WIC TV's Merrill Hubbard.
We are the battleground state.
Dozens of people crammed into EVP coffee shop, and at least 50 of them were prepping to go canvass for the rest of the day.
I feel like we're not so much saving a democracy as we are building one.
Half of America now has fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers.
Politics, at the end of the day, is at our dining room tables, it's in our living rooms, it's in our classrooms.
Baldwin is one of Wisconsin's 95 delegates at the DNC.
Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance due to return to southeast Wisconsin this week. Vance scheduled to speak in Kenosha on Tuesday.
4 men accused of killing a man outside a downtown Milwaukee hotel will be in court this morning. Preliminary hearings for Todd Erickson, Devin Johnson Carson, Brandon Turner, and Herbert Williamson. They all face felony murder charges in the death of Devontae Mitchell outside the Hyatt Regency Hotel in late June.
Woman found guilty of reckless homicide in a high-profile Kenosha County murder case is due to hear her sentence today. Crystal Kaiser pleaded guilty to the charge connected to the 2018 death of Randall Villar, whom Kaiser argued was trafficking her for sex when she was 17 years old. Now, Kaiser's lawyers argued that she was justified in her actions under Wisconsin state law that allows one to be acquitted on all charges if a crime was committed as a direct result of being trafficked. Reckless homicide carries a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison.
At least 2 suspects at large after shooting a resident in their home during an attempted burglary in Menominee Falls. This happened early Sunday. Suspects broke into a home on Wire Farm Drive. Victim inside was shot after confronting the suspects. The victim, suffering serious injuries, should survive. Police asking the public for any video footage from neighborhoods in that area, some of the Ring cameras, as they search for those suspects.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendik's Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926.
Sizzling prices on shrimp and salmon at Sendik's. Order now at Sendik's.com. Sendik's, your trusted local grocer.
Coming up, here come the bookstores. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:34.
Experience Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend, August 30th through September 1st. Get tickets at wistatefair.com.
IndyCar returns to the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park this Labor Day weekend, August 30th through September 1st. The Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend features NTT IndyCar Series races on both Saturday and Sunday. Don't miss the fun in the free fan zone all weekend long, including live entertainment at the Bank 5-9 Amphitheater with headliners including Ian Munsick and Quiet Riot. Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com and experience Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend, August 30th through September 1st.
The famous Fox and Hounds restaurant in Hubertus is hiring reliable, hardworking cleaners. You'll make real money in a friendly atmosphere, working all morning hours. It's a great part-time job. Inquire today and start next week. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlands. Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to SemperFiRoofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:36.
Head coach Matt LaFleur, tell me one thing you liked about Sunday's game. We'll hear it in sports at 6:45.
Now tell me one thing you liked.
None of it.
But you never hear about this. Brick and mortar stores reopening, coming back. But how about this? The bookstores are returning.
Barnes & Noble, back from the brink of extinction, is opening 58 stores this year. The most it's opened in a single year since at least 2009, according to Fast Company magazine. It's already opened 32 of the planned new stores this year in 20 states. They're not just popping up in big cities. The chain is opening stores around the country in places like Estero, Florida, Jonesboro, Arkansas, American Fork, Utah, and Victor, New York. Take that, Amazon.
Yeah, take that. Christopher Cruz from CBS there. So basically what they think is happening, it's durable during the social media era, says Fast Company magazine. So it's aided by passionate online communities, Facebook groups, book clubs that are online. TikTok has a big thing with books and all that. My 13-year-old is a ferocious book reader, and for her, it's a trendy thing to like that's a new trend to have bookshelves again, like with all these books lining a wall. Like she wanted to have a.
It's like a trophy case,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I've read these.
Yeah.
I've accomplished this,
and that's like a thing now. So I think that's probably aided by social media a little bit, which is kind of cool.
It's interesting you say that because just last week we were talking about my Gen Zer who's now using a point-and-click camera again. And I saw that, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, no, this is a thing now. Like, really? They're going...
Retro tech, baby.
Right. They're telling us how it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
6:38 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
If you could spend 1 month anywhere, where would you go?
Easy. I'd go to bed. Specifically, a new Tempur-Pedic from Hasselus mattress.
Why?
Because I can take 60 months to pay for it. Through Monday, get 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses, plus a $100 MasterCard gift card.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Searching for a travel agent to book a month-long vacation at Hasselus Mattress.
Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
How about a second opinion, pre-op or post-op? Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin just sent one of my good friends to my guy at OAW. He had his knee replaced with another doc, and he's been struggling with his recovery. He's been wondering if everything is okay. He's been worried. He's not been getting so much better. So I told him, look, you should have gone to my guy in the first place, but that having been done already, go in and have my guy check you out. He'll give you an honest assessment of what you're dealing with. So my friend goes in to see my doc at OAW. Doctor actually told him surgery looks really good. Spent a lot of time looking at the imaging, checking him out as well. Says the surgery looks good. It gave him a few more exercises to do, but really what he gave him is peace of mind to know he is on the right track. And he also said next time he gets his knee done, he's going with my guy at OAW. How about a second opinion before or after your surgery? These docs are here for you, and you can trust them. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
In this seller's market, even homeowners are trying to sell their own home. But more times than not, it doesn't work out like they'd hoped. And while homes like theirs are selling, and selling fast for over asking prices, their homes aren't. So what's your next best strategy? Well, if you're looking to relieve yourself of the stress of selling your own home and still get top dollar while getting the full service benefits that an experienced realtor can give you, then look no further. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where 3.5 to 3.9% commission assures that you pay less for full service. Only 11% of those trying to sell their own homes actually succeed. And of those that do sell their own home, they sell on average for 26% less than agented properties. This often negates the savings they were hoping to get by doing it on their own. So why do it on your own when you have an experienced realtor that will give you full service at only 3.5 to 3.9% commission? Don't let your home sit while others are selling faster and at potentially better than asking prices. Call Benefit Realty for a highly experienced agent, and you'll pay less for full service.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield is excited to welcome Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team in September. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com. What do you see, Debbie?
I'm seeing.
You see what I did there?
I see that.
So
that
creative.
looked pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. I got this job.
We've got actually a pretty good ride shaping up. Westbound on 894, of course, we've got our usual backups heading through the construction zone. So just west of 27th Street all the way to 68th. Rest of the system's actually looking pretty good. I'm not seeing really any delays on 41 or 43. East and westbound 94, pretty quiet as well. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. A great stretch of weather this week that starts today. Mostly sunny skies this morning. Will turn partly cloudy this afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Only a small chance for a brief rain shower or sprinkle later in the day. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Low temperatures in the 50s. Tuesday looks great. Mostly sunny skies. Highs in the lower 70s. More sunshine on Wednesday. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Thursday, upper 70s with mostly sunny skies. And more great weather for Friday. High temperatures near 80 with partly cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore. The Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Tyler has Milwaukee at 62 degrees right now.
This story about the data breach isn't going to go away. Cybersecurity company sounding an alarm about the safety of personal information after what could be the worst data breach ever. This came down last week. It's reportedly resulted in the theft of the social security numbers of every American, potentially. Every American, according to this federal class action lawsuit that was filed, says that a hacking group claims to have stolen everyone's stuff. And it's available on some form of the dark web right now.
So is that better if we're all in trouble? Is that we're all better?
That's a good question. So what does that mean?
We know that social security numbers were included, telephone numbers were included, home addresses, date of birth. These are really critical pieces of a person's identity that can be put together and used in a lot of different nefarious ways.
So that's cybersecurity expert Michael Kaiser. Okay, so the one thing that we have in our corner, we have a couple of things, but it does help when we have like different authentication methods now than we did before. usually it's more than just your kid's birthday on a password nowadays. I mean, and there's 2-point factors where they have to text you as well, and then you have another code that you have to put in. Oftentimes there's facial recognition, so there are options.
You should be using strong authentication on your own account, so making sure that, wherever possible, you're not just using a password to access your accounts, because that makes you vulnerable. And, trying to get into account, if you have a multi-factor authentication using something like a security key or these new pass keys that are quite available now, you can really protect accounts from being hacked.
So oftentimes if you're trying to check on to a system and it says, we need to text you first a digit, I mean, that is where you have that multi-factor protection there. So that could help a little bit. Also, Social Security numbers haven't been around as much lately as they were before. They've kind of accepted that you don't need to put that on everything. Or
don't you wonder that sometimes? Like
I won't write it down. Like if someone gives me, when I go to the doctor and they say, please fill out this thing, and it says here,
nah.
Why would
you don't need
on
that.
This little pink slip you just gave me? Am I going to write my Social Security number on it? No, you ask for it if you need it, and they never do, and I hand it back in.
I know it's a government form, but when we were up north, my son wanted a fishing license. You need to put in your social for a fishing license. The $5 thing to catch a fish.
So Kaiser says that is helpful, though, that we're moving away from the Social Security number a little bit. It's getting washed out of the system a little bit, but the multi-point factor will help. But also change your passwords. If you're concerned about it, change some of your passwords, and at least that moves you one step closer to protection.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur tells us at least one thing he was sort of pleased with Sunday.
There was a thing.
That's next.
Every great Midwest bank branch has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Michael Quizon is IT Systems Administrator. Michael, the bank has a slogan.
We are called Simply Local. We're a Simply Local bank.
And your business technology company, James Imaging Systems, has been a 100% locally owned and managed company right here in Wisconsin for over 40 years.
They're more like a partner to us.
In what way?
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they were there.
James Imaging Systems, document imaging technology, and local service and support.
We can get our printers up and running right away if we have any issues. We can do our business without any downtime at all.
The benefit to Great Midwest Bank?
Efficient operations, time savings on my end. There's no other partner that we can bring on.
Start your partnership with James Imaging Systems today. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Packers and Ravens will have a joint practice later this week in Green Bay ahead of their final preseason game in an utterly unredeemable performance, albeit without their starters for the Packers anyway. The Packers fell to the Broncos Sunday night in Denver.
It's a little different, I would say, in terms of how you got to judge it. It was great to see a lot of our younger players go up against NFL starters.
That was great to see because that didn't look great. Not a good result. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur did like a few things he saw on defense from the young guys. Didn't like anything on offense.
But all in all, offensively, just want to see more fight from our guys. That was frustrating, just the lack of ability to move the football, both in the running game and in the passing game. So we definitely just got to reevaluate and take a good, long, hard look at everybody.
Again, the Packers sat the vast majority of their starters, offense and defense.
It just seemed like a pointless exercise.
Right. What do you learn from this? He said they didn't have a good joint practice either. LaFleur was disappointed in how the team came out in that joint practice earlier in the week. What did they practice? Friday ahead of the Sunday game with the Broncos. He didn't like that either. So let's tighten it up. We got one more week of camp. Packers joint practice with the Ravens on Thursday. The game, a noon start at Lambeau on Saturday.
Hey, Brewers fans. Your team sits in first place by 11 games.
Koenig kicks and throws. Fly ball left field. Churio near the line. He's got it. And the Brewers have shut out the Guardians by a 2-0 final. A 7-3 homestand and the first big league save for Jared Koenig.
Woo, so much in there. 2-0. They sweep the Cleveland Guardians, one of the best teams in the AL. They now sit 11 games in first place. We do have a magic number now. Greg, what do we got there for a magic number?
28.
All right, perfect. 28. And how about Code Red? Colin Ray carried a no-hitter through 5 2/3, ended up going 7 scoreless, just pitched a gem for the Crew. And Jared Koenig, you heard there, got his first save. So they talked about that after the game with Pat Murphy, about how many different pitchers have had a save for the Crew.
Quite a role. He's doing everything for you guys. I think the 11th different guy to save a game for you now this season.
Yeah, we're trying to build that number up. We're trying to break a record with that.
What do you think you can get it to, 15?
Not sure. What is the record for different saves by one player in a game? Do you have an idea?
I don't. I was trying to find it. I was trying to find what's the record for most pitchers used to get a save by one team in one season. And they think it's like 14 or 15. I'll try to get that confirmed by the end of the show.
Well, especially since MLB, all these teams have largely gone to a closer, right? So you got your one person who comes in and gets that save opportunity in the ninth. But with Devin Williams out for as long as he was, he's back now. Seems like they're being a little bit careful with him.
And Williams will come back around, but they just need to give him a day. So
all right, we'll find the number. We could put Pancake on a different magic number. What's Craig?
How many
find that other
pitchers?
magic number.
Yeah, we need to get to 15. We got to celebrate something. The Brewers buzz is back.
Hey, speaking of Brewers are inviting you to play golf inside American Family Field, and not that simulator golf. Fire up the live stream. Join us by clicking the Watch Now button on our app on WTMJ.com. Follow us on YouTube. Or text WATCH to 855-616-1620. I'm going to show you the video of the setup coming up next.
Hey, WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast. We update it every day with every interview, every segment, every bit we do on the show.
Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
We're thrilled to have the one and only Will Pounder.
I don't know what that means.
Labeled or known as being a big baguette.
All right, maybe we do some bits.
Be sure you subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast, presented by Tri-County Contracting.
Wait now or wait a little longer. You may have just increased your lifetime income by tens of thousands of dollars. That's how Social Security can work for you. The longer you wait, the more money you may get. Deciding when to start taking your Social Security benefits is one of the most important retirement decisions you'll make. Our team at Drake & Associates can show you the options and help make the right decision for your situation. You spent decades paying in. Optimize what comes out. Drake & Associates can help you squeeze every penny out of your Social Security benefits. Claim your free retirement-ready toolkit that has guides on Social Security. To get our complimentary toolkit, call or text SS to 414-409-9982. That's calling or texting SS to 414-409-9982.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Video component to our next story, Deb, so I want folks to watch us on the live stream. Okay?
Excellent. Sounds good.
Text WATCH to 855-616-1620 if you want to watch along in studio with us this morning. What's happening on the roads?
Well, a little bit backed up now on westbound 894, of course, through the construction zone. So about 27th Street all the way to 68th. We've also got some westbound delays on 94 as well, from 27th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43 looking pretty good, starting to bunch up just a little bit heading into the Capitol Drive area on the northbound side. 41 is still looking pretty clear right now, so we're not seeing too many delays in that area. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Partly cloudy, a bit breezy today. A high of 75. There is a chance for an isolated sprinkle or shower this afternoon. Tonight, clear, low of 59. Tuesday, sunny 71. Wednesday, sunny 74. Thursday, sunny 77. Friday, a high of 80. Right now, 62 at 7:53. I'm sorry, 6:53.
It cost us an hour.
6:53. Holy cow.
Eric's going to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. You've got a monster day ahead of you.
Oh,
so,
yeah, here we go.
Right.
Monster week.
Don't be already out the door now. I need you for another 2 hours.
I'm not going anywhere yet. Don't worry. I may not be going anywhere when I get on the road. We'll see how the traffic is.
Eric, big plans, Bilstad. How late are you going to stay? You don't know?
Well, I was planning to stick around for the president's speech tonight, but now you're telling me that speech is around 10 p.m.?
I think I saw a 9:45, and I thought, oh, that must be Eastern. No, I think they're targeting 9:45 Central.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Milwaukee Brewers inviting folks to play golf at American Family Field. This is not the X-Golf simulators, which have long been in place. You can do that already. But think of this like a Top Golf, Lux Golf. If you know that, it's like a target driving range set up throughout the stadium. You've done that like with your kids, right?
Yeah, oh, it's awesome. Lux is fun.
So it's not really a thing where, if you're a super committed golfer that you're going there to like work on your game or do all these things. It's like family fun stuff. They got all these targets set up and you do stuff, and you don't even have to be a good golfer to go out there and try it.
My 13-year-old played it and she won one of the games.
So if I can have Greg Pancake Hill put the video up from what they're setting up at American Family Field. This is called Upper Deck Golf, and they've done this at other MLB ballparks before, including Fenway Park. Brewers Vice President Jason Hartland explains the setup.
So Upper Deck's going to come around and they're going to set up 9 different holes, and you literally will sign up for tee times like you would at a normal course. So you'll be able to play the 9 holes. There's closest to the pin competitions. There's going to be a long drive competition. Some of that will take place in X-Golf. The VIP package includes complimentary access to all the contests, food and beverage. It's really going to be neat.
So are you looking for clowns like me to come out here and grind on their game, or is this like a family thing, everybody come and do their deal?
I think we'll get a mixture. I think we'll get some guys that are serious golfers that just want to come out and see what they can do, but it really is something for everybody.
So I was out there Friday. The Brewers invited a few of us to try out the setup. As I said, Greg's got the video for you up on the live stream right now, but if I can describe it, they had a setup on the terrace level, so the highest deck.
Yeah.
And right behind home plate, and we were hitting to a flag that was at about home plate. So first of all, there's all the feels of being that high up, and then you get to see your balls sail up, and you track it as it follows, along the roof line, and then watch it drop somewhere down on the field. So in case you're wondering about people though banging balls all over the park, bouncing them off of stuff, right? That sounds like
not. You can shank a couple, right?
Sure. So they've thought of that. The balls are not like your regular hard golf ball. They're a softer ball, but the ball flight is pretty legit. Here's Jason again.
We want to make sure when the holes are set up, they're going to be anywhere from 75 to 150 yards. Probably not need to bring your driver out. And we just want to make sure that we control the flight of the balls and where they land. And obviously we have a couple new scoreboards we want to protect. So yeah, it'll be a different setup.
Right. So I'm not going to break anything, right?
I don't know.
As far as you know.
I've seen you hit the ball. You might be able to get the limited flight ball out there. So, but no, the goal is to not break anything.
Yeah, big hitter right over here. So the balls are soft, but they fly. And it's really cool thing that they're going to set up. Games and stuff.
And you bring your own clubs. I mean, you said you probably wouldn't use your driver, but you when you go to this, you bring your bag?
Yeah, I don't know if you need to bring your bag. You might just bring a handful of clubs, a 7-iron, a wedge, or whatever. And if you're a committed golfer, you would know what you would need for those distances. But there was also a contest component to this particular event. So a few of us from the media were invited out there, and they said, all right, whoever gets closest to the pin, we're going to give you – I only hit 4 balls. Okay, we'll give you 2 warm-ups, and then you get 2 shots at the pin. Closest to the pin wins $1,000 for their charity of choice. For me, it's Special Olympics Wisconsin.
Excellent, okay. How'd it go?
I won the $1,000.
Yeah, you did.
There you go.
Yeah, you did.
It's a pretty good shot, too, but they had to bring out the tape. So
it was tight.
Brewers had a couple of crew down there, whatever. So it was tight, some nervous moments, but we won the $1,000.
Who are you going up against?
For Special Olympics Wisconsin. Just a few other folks in the media. So
nice, very nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, so glad we could do that. Anyway, if you're interested, you have to sign up for access. So right now it's a VIP wait list, and then you'll have access to the early tee times when they release them. Easiest way to do it is just Google Brewers Upper Deck Golf, and that'll take you to the sign-up page, and then they'll blast you more information. The event is coming up after the season. Upper Deck Golf at American Family Field, November 7th through the 9th.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from Three Pillars resident Doris.
I came to visit and it just felt very comfortable. It's a large campus. There's a lot of green areas. There's lots of trails that are going through it that you can walk. You can use your walker or rollie on it. They bought a bunch of trikes and I want to try one of those three-wheelers and get it out on one of those walking paths. And for me, it's home with wonderful people.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Did your home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather? Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to get your free home inspection. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle until I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests. The Democratic National Convention is here. Join Wisconsin's Afternoon News, where we will be broadcasting live from the DNC in Chicago. We are your home for DNC coverage. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
7 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. Monday, August 19th, our top story. A passing of the torch at the DNC in Chicago.
I'm Erik. Bilstad. Ukraine pushes further into Russian territory.
I'm Debbie Lazago. Westbound 894 still backed up a bit between 27th Street and 68th. Northbound 43 starting to see some delays from about Center Street all the way up towards Keefe. Overall, the rest of the system's actually looking okay. Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Partly cloudy skies today. Chance of an isolated afternoon shower or sprinkle, and a bit on the breezy side with a high of 75. Mainly clear skies tonight. Low gets down to 59. Right now we're at 63 in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Decision, Wisconsin, for the second time in a month, a major American political party gathers on the shores of Lake Michigan, laying out their platform, choosing a nominee for the November presidential election. Of course, last month it was Republicans in Milwaukee. This week, the Democrats in Chicago.
These political conventions are filled with symbolism, with the least important speakers, for example, first on the schedule, the presidential nominee being the last on Thursday. That's why it's notable that incumbent President Joe Biden is first up this evening to give a farewell address to his fellow Democrats and to hand the torch to Kamala Harris. Even the seating arrangements in the convention hall are symbolic. The 273 delegates from deep red Texas are seated near the rear, while the delegates from Democratic stronghold California are right up front. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Chicago.
It is a big week for the Democratic Party, but the presumptive nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris, still going to stump.
The geography of the DNC provides Harris a unique opportunity to make a quick trip to battleground state Wisconsin, something she'll do on Tuesday.
I know if you've watched the past couple of weeks, they're going to be barnstorming the battleground states all across this country to keep sharing their vision for the future.
DNC Senior Director of Communications Matt Hill.
This is a moment for us, not just here in Chicago, but across the nation, to energize, organize, and mobilize as we head into the next stretch of this election.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
So a rally is expected at Fiserv Forum tomorrow. Still waiting on more details on what that will be and the timing of it. Harris is expected to officially accept the nomination, of course, Thursday evening.
For the Republicans, Vice Presidential candidate J.D. Vance due to return to Southeast Wisconsin this week, just days after visiting Milwaukee. Senator Vance is going to be in Kenosha Tuesday. His appearance will come the same day that Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, are holding that rally at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee.
4 men accused of killing a man outside a downtown hotel in Milwaukee will be in court this morning. We have preliminary hearings for Todd Erickson, Devin Johnson-Carson, Brandon Turner, and Herbert Williamson. All 4 face felony murder charges in the death of Devontae Mitchell. This happened outside the Hyatt Regency Hotel in late June. Mitchell entering the hotel causing a disturbance. He died after that scuffle outside the hotel.
A woman found guilty of reckless homicide in a high-profile Kenosha County murder case is due to hear her sentence today. Crystal Kaiser did plead guilty to the charge connected to the 2018 death of Randall Villar, whom Kaiser argued was trafficking her for sex when she was just 17 years old. Now, Kaiser's lawyers argued she was justified in her actions under a Wisconsin state law that allows one to be acquitted on charges if a crime was committed as a direct result of being trafficked. Reckless homicide carries a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison.
Ukrainian air forces say they've destroyed another strategic bridge in Russia's Kursk region, limiting Russia's supply capacity. Nick Smith with News Nation.
Military analysts say there are a total of 3 bridges that Russia uses to supply its forces, and 2 of them have either been destroyed or seriously damaged by Ukrainian forces. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the invasion into Russia's Kursk region aims to create a buffer zone preventing more attacks from Moscow. This again showing that Ukrainians are determined to keep up their fight. They have said that this has been also a morale boost for troops who have been able to move successfully into Russian territory.
As many as 5,000 Ukrainian soldiers are part of that push into Russian territory.
Coming up, speaking out 15 years after a box office hit. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:05.
This report is sponsored by Diamonds Direct. Your love, their passion.
When you ask people here, what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler? For some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing, it's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Now open in Wauwatosa.
Hey, John Mercure here. CertaPro Painters are the best in the business. I know they did my house, and it looks fantastic. Worry-free. Start with a free estimate. It's CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here, interior or exterior for your home or your business. They're quick. They're easy. They're affordable. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They're the real deal. I trust them at my house. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:07.
Anything redeeming from Sunday night's game?
No.
For the Green Bay Packers?
No, they got to enjoy Denver? I don't know.
I hope they did. We'll talk about it in sports at 7:15.
A sense of unease right now in Menominee Falls. This after a resident is shot in their home. Happened during an attempted burglary early Sunday, police say. At least 2 suspects broke into a home on Wire Farm Drive and shot a resident when confronted. Now, neighbor Gerald McGregory tells TMJ4 News that he and another neighbor on the subdivision also had their cars broken into.
Saw a couple cop cars through, patrols through. Hopefully they'll catch the perpetrator. You can't say it's just the city. You can't say it's just the suburbs. You just got to pay attention wherever you go.
Yeah, suspects remain at large. Police now asking for neighbors to share Ring camera video so they can find them.
Update to this story from earlier this morning on Wisconsin Wisconsin's Morning News. At least one body has now been recovered off the coast of Sicily. A yacht went down in bad weather. 6 others still listed as missing.
On the surface and in the air, the search goes on for the missing off the port of Porticello, where a luxury sailboat carrying foreign tourists capsized and sank. The British flag vessel had a crew of 10 and a dozen passengers. In all, 15 people were rescued. The wreck's been located some 160 feet down. Deepwater divers are arriving. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
The former NFL player at the center of the 2009 Oscar-nominated movie hit The Blind Side, Michael Orr, is now explaining why he filed a controversial lawsuit against the Toohey family, who took him in as a high school student. More details from ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
Orr telling the New York Times about the complex ongoing court case in which he alleges the Tooheys took advantage of him, depriving him of millions. At the age of 18, Orr says he thought he was signing adoption papers, but it ended up being a conservatorship, allowing the Tooheys to take advantage of his finances for nearly 20 years. He tells the New York Times, "The first time I heard I love you, it was Sean and Leanne saying it," adding, "When that happens at 18, you become vulnerable."
The Tooheys vehemently deny any wrongdoing after ending the conservatorship last September.
7:10 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
When you need to sell quickly, choose Grandview to buy your home, even if it's less than perfect. Don't waste time and money on finding a real estate agent and dealing with showings. We'll buy your home completely as is. No repairs, not even a clean out. Grandview Homes gives you an offer in hours, and we close on the day you choose in as little as 10 days with no closing costs. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
The odds are overwhelming. It's not a fair fight. On our own, you and I are no match against that triple tag team of sin, death, and the devil. Let's not overestimate our ability to resist evil. We can't, but God can and has through the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. A classic message by Dr. Dale Meyer this week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Checking in on the morning drive here with Debbie.
All right, looking pretty good right now, Vince. We just have a little bit of a backup westbound 894, basically through the construction zone just west of 27th Street past Loomis all the way to about 68th. East and westbound 94 looking pretty good. Southbound and northbound 43 has gone back to normal, so far we're looking good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. A great stretch of weather this week that starts today. Mostly sunny skies this morning. Will turn partly cloudy this afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Only a small chance for a brief rain shower or sprinkle later in the day. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Low temperatures in the 50s. Tuesday looks great. Mostly sunny skies. Highs in the lower 70s. More sunshine on Wednesday. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Thursday, upper 70s with mostly sunny skies. And more great weather for Friday. High temperatures near 80 with partly cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore. The Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 69 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
At 7:12 on this Monday morning, I have news on 2 alternate party candidates on the ballot here in Wisconsin for November 5th. But first, let's talk about the Democratic National Convention, which kicks off today in Chicago.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz barnstorming critical Pennsylvania. Sunday, they're kind of the last burst of campaigning from over the weekend. And then we come right into tonight, where the capstone speech is going to be President Biden himself.
It's ABC News Washington Bureau Chief Rick Klein setting the stage. We also have former President Trump, who campaigned in Pennsylvania over the weekend and will do so again today. WTMJ will have people at the convention each day. We've got Spanning the States. Kristen Bry will be there through the week. What's your plan today? Erik Big Plans Bilstad is headed down today.
I'm going down today, so I'll be there through the day into the evening. We'll see how long I stick around.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News will be live at the convention Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the duration of their show. Still very few details about Vice President Kamala Harris's visit to Wisconsin, her rally at Fiserv Forum on Tuesday. We were wondering because they definitely want to fill the place, right?
You think so, right? If you're going to hold it there at Fiserv, you want a full house.
We have not seen an open call for here's how you queue up, here's how you get tickets. But I did hear from someone on the WTMJ Talk and Text line who said he or she received an email from the campaign. So it might be a thing like if you've already signed up for alerts
then you'll get
from the campaign and said that you fill out the email and then you get notified as to whether or not you have tickets. He said, my sister is already in. So they must be recruiting people throughout, devotees to the campaign.
The timing is very interesting because obviously you'll have a lot of attention and a lot of supporters, some of the big blue supporters in Chicago, right? For the convention.
Great point. So a lot of your folks from
are,
Wisconsin who are that interested might be down there.
Yeah, so you're going to lose a little bit of your contingency depending on when you do it, if you have this event here. I'm curious when they're actually going to hold it.
Don't have word on the timing just yet. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Election Commission dismissed a complaint that we were talking about last week that was filed by Democrats seeking to remove the Green Party and presidential nominee Dr. Jill Stein from the Wisconsin presidential ballot coming up November 5th. An important decision given recent history. Stein was on the ballot in 2016 for the Green Party. She got about 31,000 votes, which was inside the margin of victory for former President Trump. He won Wisconsin with her on the ballot. Commission did not allow the Green Party on the ballot in 2020. President Biden won the state by some 20,000 votes. So this is an important decision in terms of the margin. DNC is planning to file a lawsuit now, still trying to kick Stein off the ballot. No suit has of yet been filed, but this may not be done. An important first ruling on that matter.
And as of now, she's polling at like 1%, but 1% of 3 million votes is significant.
30,000.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that breaks. Meanwhile, the Libertarian Party will be on the ballot coming up in November.
As libertarians, we are the philosophical descendants of the founders of this nation. If we don't stand up for the protections of individual rights and the limits on government that were promised to us in our Constitution, nobody else will.
That is Mike Termott. He is the vice presidential nominee for the party. Chase Oliver on the top of the ticket. And Mr. Termott is an economist. He's a former police officer, and he's here in Wisconsin this week campaigning. He's going to join us live in studio this morning. We'll talk with Mike Termott and the Libertarian Party at 8:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Our southern border is in chaos, with drugs and criminals flowing into our country. But sanctuary cities protect illegal immigrants who commit crimes from being deported. Like an illegal immigrant arrested for battery in Madison. He should have been deported. Instead, he was released back into the community and went on to assault several more women, including a 13-year-old girl. Senator Tammy Baldwin voted 9 times to support federal funding for sanctuary cities that refuse to cooperate with immigration officials and release these dangerous criminals back onto our streets. And Senator Baldwin voted for amnesty for 11 million illegals, including convicted criminals. Call Senator Baldwin, 608-264-5338. Urge her to support S-1068, the Stop Dangerous Sanctuary Cities Act. Stop protecting illegal immigrants and start protecting Wisconsin. Paid for by One Nation, www.onenationamerica.org.
Flooring, carpeting, bath, or kitchen remodeling. Adair is the name Milwaukee has trusted for 65 years. This is Rob Adair. Ready to remodel? Give us a call, 761-3660. Get personal care from Adair, South 27th in Franklin.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Packers get back to work this week, and they got a lot of work to do. One preseason game remaining. I don't even know what to say about Sunday night. Like, absolutely unwatchable.
It doesn't really matter, right? Like, it just back.
It doesn't. If you stuck through the third quarter, you got maybe this one lone highlight.
Zach wants to throw it, and be taken down. Drop for a safety in the end zone. Dropped by Zach Morton, first-year player out of Akron.
Hey, way to go, Zach. Safety is how many points?
2.
That's all we got. Packers lose 27-2.
I was hoping that our guys would come out with more strain, effort, grit after kind of getting humbled the other day in practice, and then to have it happen again, not where we want to be.
Is that fair to call them out, call out your backups?
Going against front,
yeah,
because
Denver
played
their
largely the starters first and offense and defense, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Either way, he didn't like what he saw. I mean, what's he supposed to say? Like, hey, great job by these guys. They really worked hard. So we have Packers and Ravens. That's going to be Saturday at noon at Lambeau Field to close out the preseason.
What's that sound? You hear that?
The guy shaving?
It's Brewers Buzz right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize the sound.
The buzz is growing. Holy cow. Look at the crew right now. The Brewers lead the NL Central by 11 games after they swept one of the best teams in the league in the Cleveland Guardians. Brewers win again Sunday afternoon, 2-0, completing the sweep. Thanks in part to Colin Ray.
Code Red.
That's right, Code Red. Colin Ray throws a no-hitter through 5 2/3, gave up a single to Stephen Kwan, ultimately going 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, Pat Murphy.
He's just been an incredible anchor. He really has. He gives you it every time out. What you see is what you get. It's who he is as a human. Every day the same.
Speaking of who he is as a human, my favorite part after the game talking to Lane Grindle, here's what Colin Ray said. First answer out of the gate.
I got to give a lot of credit to Hossie behind the dish.
Yeah.
Old Hossie.
Got to give Hossie some credit. Eric Haas, the catcher, getting some credit. Also, Eric Haas driving in a run, fielder's choice RBI. Willie Adames had an RBI hit as well, and that was the difference. So with that win, what's the magic number at? What do you got there, Pancake? What's our magic number for the crew?
28.
All right, 28 it is. Up next, the second place Cardinals tomorrow night, right here on WTMJ.
Boy, and William Contreras takes a day off like once every 3 months, too. So
yeah, amazing.
I mean,
that in itself is incredible.
Good for Haas to be able to step in that role and have a great game. 7:19 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I got to give a lot of credit to Hossie.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
Some of the moviegoers come into the theater and roll their eyes and complain at $7 sodas. What do you say to that customer?
Get to know what's going on in the community and businesses throughout Milwaukee and Wisconsin.
I agree with him. It does seem, you look at it, oh, God, that's expensive. I mean, yeah.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Vince Vitrano here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Listen to this deal that I'm allowed, encouraged, authorized to pass on to you from Gina Della from Pella herself. Texted me while I was on vacation. She was so excited. Here's what she's done for you, the Pella Window and Doors of Wisconsin prospective customer. 0% interest on your financing for up to 60 months. With no money down and equal payments. That means you get to pay for your project over the course of 5 years, and you won't pay a dime of interest. This offer ends at the end of the month. One of the things Pella is talking about a lot, it's Pella Windows and Doors. We're getting a new front door at my house. I'm so excited about the process that we went through in choosing that. This new design software that Pella uses. They take a picture of your space, and then they can, I don't know if superimpose is the right word, right? But they put the picture of all of the different choices and options that you're making right there in your space. You know exactly.
So you can see what it would look like. That's
and you
cool.
see it in real time exactly how it's going to look. Nothing worse than making a big investment, then it comes and they put it in and you're like, ooh, that is not what I thought that was going to look like. No worries with that with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And right now, 0% interest on your financing for your project for up to 60 months with no money down and equal payments. That offer ends at the end of this month. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit PellaWI.com today.
One of the biggest innovations I've seen recently is the improvement in fabrics.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Stain-resistant fabrics, the pet-friendly fabrics, the kid-friendly fabrics that you can spill something on and clean it right up and it's gone.
I'm thinking about that recliner that now has lumbar. I can just push a button and, I get lumbar. And push a different button and my head comes forward. And the comfort that they're now building in furniture that wasn't there, 10 years ago. It's just amazing where that's come.
PennyMustard.com.
Yeah, it's always something new and exciting.
Traffic is sponsored by Richlands Tire and Service Center.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
Let's get an update on your morning drive here at 7:22, Deb.
All right. It is a little bit heavy on westbound 894 from about 27th Street all the way to 68th through that construction zone. Eastbound 94 is just slowing down a little bit right through the stadium interchange. Westbound, a couple taps on the brakes right around 27th Street and Mitchell Boulevard, but not horribly bad. We've got 43 and 41 both looking clean as a whistle right now. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Partly cloudy skies today with a chance of an isolated afternoon shower or sprinkle, high of 75 degrees. Tonight, mainly clear, low down to 59. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in the low to, by Thursday, upper 70s. And then Friday, partly cloudy with a high of 80 degrees. 63 right now in Milwaukee.
Happy Monday!
It's time to look at the week ahead.
What a Monday morning.
Yes, sir. What's going to be in your timeline on your news feed this week? What are you going to see on TV? What's going to be on the radio or in the paper? We're going to tell you right now.
Why don't you just tell me what's going to be?
So you can just close your eyes and enjoy the week and not have to worry about any of this stuff. Downtown Employee Appreciation Week starts today in Milwaukee. Yeah, you celebrate the worker this week, otherwise known as Spirit Week for the downtown workforce.
Oh, are we supposed to dress up? Is it like wear Green Day?
So, well, they might have some of that stuff. I haven't seen that in here.
Like in high school, right?
Yeah.
Oh, today's the Spirit. Today's 70s Day.
Funny Hat Day is tomorrow for the downtown workers. A preliminary.
I hope somebody takes that seriously.
So there's a ceremony.
I heard on the news it was Funny Hat Day.
There's a ceremony being held downtown today at Arrowhead, and then there's like free lunches in some different spots, free coffee, and some other things all week long. So thanks to the celebration of the Downtown Employee Week starting today. Preliminary hearings are also starting today for 4 men charged in the death of Devontae Mitchell. That's the one that he was killed outside the Hyatt late June. So now the 4 that face charges are now going to be going through court. A couple of them remain in custody. The Democratic National Convention kicks off in Chicago today. Lots of attention down here. So here's the lineup. So President Biden will be the keynote speaker tonight, along with the First Lady. She'll be there as well, Jill Biden. Also, Hillary Clinton speaks tonight. Tomorrow, former President Obama, along with former First Lady Michelle Obama, speak. Wednesday, it'll be Governor Tim Walz accepting the VP nomination. Bill Clinton's also on Wednesday. Thursday, of course, is Kamala Harris. Now, former President Trump is going to counter-program, as he likes to do. So he and J.D. Vance going to both be stumping in different locations throughout the week. Full moon tonight. It's also a super moon, and it also has a name, Vince. It's a sturgeon moon.
Oh, very well.
Sturgeon moon tonight. Former Republican Representative George Santos going to plead guilty today. Now we move on to Tuesday. Harris and Walz will be stumping at Fiserv on Tuesday. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but they will be at Fiserv tomorrow as they celebrate and stump and campaign through DNC. Senator J.D. Vance will be in Kenosha at noon tomorrow. So the GOP will be here as well. Vance in Kenosha at noon tomorrow. Senator Menendez is going to resign on Tuesday. He's a lawmaker who is convicted of getting gold bars and stuff from the Egyptian government.
Yeah, driving fancy cars and stuff that were...
Mm-hmm. Former Alaska Airlines pilot Joseph Emerson will be arraigned on Tuesday. This is the Magic Mushroom pilot. He's the guy who was in the jump seat in the cockpit, tried to shut down the plane's engines mid-flight. He just got up and started trying to pull levers. Hasn't slept in days, they said before that. Was on shrooms, dealing with depression, and that's when he tried to bring the plane down. So he's going to be going through court. Starting on Friday, one of the final festivals of the season, Mexican Fiesta brings the sound, the culture, and taste of Mexico to Milwaukee's lakefront Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm sorry, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Air Guitar World Championship. Now, if you were to ask where the Air Guitar World Championship was being held, where would you think it would be?
Rochester, New York.
Right? Someplace like that. Reno. Something
Okay.
like that. No, Finland. Finland.
All right.
They're hosting it this year. Don't know where the torch is right now as they run it to Finland.
Right, this year, like it's on this big rotation. Like,
no, none of
cities
that.
putting in bids.
Green Day plays American Family Field on Saturday at the movies.
We need to find out what's really going on.
I'm just really happy you came.
Whoa, blink twice. Thriller starring Channing Tatum. He plays a billionaire Slater King who invites 2 friends to his private island, and things go from sensational to psychotic. Also, The Crow, a reboot of The Crow, the 1994 cult classic, flies into theaters on Friday. That is your week ahead.
News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average still above 40,000, well above. In fact, closed Friday up another 100 points almost to 40,660. The NASDAQ at 17,632 is up 37 in trading on Friday, and the S&P 500 at 55.54 to start the week. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market and how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us today is Jeff Salasinski, Vice President of Business Operations.
Thanks, Vince. Great to be here.
So, summertime storms continue, Jeff. We've had our share. Pretty big stretch here where it rained nearly every day. On some of those days, wind gusts damaged rooftops, trees uprooted. Seems like we're hearing more about the threat of tornadoes than ever before. And I know today's personal insurance pricing is driven by these weather events.
It sure is, Vince. Storms are a big component of today's insurance pricing models. It's also a good time to find out if you're properly insured, because you don't want to wait till after a loss to find out you've got a problem. It can strain your finances and in some cases can destroy you financially. Your home's value has increased recently, and the cost to repair or rebuild it has too. Chances are your limit of insurance is too low. Your premiums are up, your deductible's been increased, and in all likelihood, coverage for your roof has been pulled back or restricted.
So with all this happening, what role does the insurance agent play?
A true personal insurance professional is reaching out, sharing insights. You need a professional that understands these market dynamics, follows them closely, and keeps you informed and gives you options. R&R Insurance stays on top of these issues and will design a custom, personalized solution for you. And if you're working with an agent that can only sell insurance for one company, you're limiting competition for your account and you're going to pay higher premiums. As an independent insurance agency, we represent 20-plus companies. We understand how to present your account to the market and get multiple insurance companies to compete for your personal insurance business. Competition's a good thing.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff. 7:30. I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. Our top story, a star-studded convention in Chicago.
I'm Erik. Bilstad. Allegations of police misconduct in Baraboo.
I'm Debbie Lazago. Westbound on 94, a little bit tight right through the Stadium interchange. Eastbound starting to slow down from 76th Street all the way to about 35th. Westbound 894 heavy from 27th Street through to about 68th. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Chance of an isolated shower or sprinkle this afternoon. Otherwise partly cloudy and a high of 75 degrees. Milwaukee right now at 63.
ABC News, I'm Sherry. Preston headed into the Democratic National Convention. A new poll from ABC News shows a lead for Kamala Harris, even though Donald Trump is trusted more to handle issues of economy and inflation. That poll done by ABC News, The Washington Post, and Ipsos. Trains between New York and Philadelphia stopped from running on Sunday because of severe weather, which also canceled and delayed hundreds of flights. ABC's Trevor Alt is in Connecticut, where several areas dealt with flash flooding over the weekend.
More than 40 people were stranded at a campground after a bridge was washed out, cutting off their escape route. Rescuers rushing to save dozens of drivers trapped in the flooding. Meantime, powerful rain and flooding is also inundating New Jersey and New York.
The Secretary of State is back in the Middle East. Antony Blinken saying it is imperative to get a ceasefire deal done now. This is his 9th trip to the region since the war began October 7th. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 7:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Democratic National Convention opening today in Chicago. President Biden and the First Lady scheduled to speak and hand the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris. As for who else could be on the podium,
the RNC in Milwaukee had a celebrity flavor to it, featuring the likes of Hulk Hogan and Dana White. What's on tap for the DNC?
Tuesday, we're going to have a celebratory roll call in the arena, which I can tell you is going to be must-watch TV on Tuesday evening.
Matt Hill is the Senior Director of Communications for the DNC.
Both President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama, as well as President Clinton, you're going to see speakers on our stage that reflect the diversity, the strength, and the future of America.
Any surprises?
I'm not going to spill any of the beans here just yet.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Vice President Harris due to accept the nomination for president Thursday, day after running mate Governor Tim Walz will accept the nomination for vice president on Wednesday.
Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance will be back in southeast Wisconsin on Tuesday, just days after visiting Milwaukee. He was here on Friday. Vance scheduled to be in Kenosha Tuesday at noon. His appearance comes the same day The Vice President Kamala Harris and the running mate Governor Tim Walz will be in Fiserv Forum.
Police in the suburbs still looking for 2 suspects. They're out there somewhere after shooting someone in their home during an attempted burglary. That was early Sunday in Menominee Falls. Suspects broke into a home on Wire Farm Drive. Victim inside was shot after confronting the suspects. Victim suffered serious injuries but is expected to survive. And police asking the public for video they might have, perhaps from doorbell cameras in the neighborhood, as they still search for these suspects.
3 Baraboo police officers are under investigation for possible connections to the suspect in a drug investigation. The allegations stem from 3 search warrants of Baraboo properties connected to William Deppy, one of the officers currently on administrative leave regarding that alleged misconduct.
Not a good day for swimming in Lake Michigan. Folks warned to stay away due to life-threatening waves and strong currents. Beach hazard statement in effect until Monday night. National Weather Service says waves are forecasted to reach 3 to 5 feet. Traffic is sponsored by Sendik's Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926.
Sizzling prices on shrimp and salmon at Sendik's. Order now at Sendik's.com. Sendik's, your trusted local grocer.
Coming up, how many people will be on the roads?
Ever? Today? Tomorrow? Oh, Labor Day travel. Okay. Please listen anyway. News is sponsored by Griffin Ford, Griffin Chevy on Metro Auto Mall, and Griffin's Hub Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
$1 in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did, but our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy 1, 2, or a set of 4. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South, 27th Street and Jefferson. Griffin Chevrolet in the Auto Mall. Griffin Ford, Waukesha, and Fort Atkinson. 5 ways to make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Do you work downtown? Milwaukee Downtown is bringing back the food, fun, and camaraderie. Downtown Employee Appreciation Week is back, August 19th through the 23rd, to reward the hardest working crew around. Get the scoop on free lunches, office challenge games, after-hours socials, and plenty of other perks. Visit iworkdowntownmke.com for a complete schedule of events. See you downtown.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:36.
Brewers off today. They've got the Cardinals starting tomorrow. Could almost stick a fork in the Cardinals with this series, right?
I mean, they're still in second place, but is that really the accurate description?
Sift through all of it with Brewers Extra Inning host Dom Catronio. Joins us live in Brewers 360 at 7:45.
AAA loves to throw out the numbers when it comes to holiday weekends. They always just pick a number for who's going to be on the roads.
You could tell me any number, and I would be like, oh, that sounds like a lot.
They do expect the summer's record-breaking travel to finish strong over the Labor Day weekend, suggesting people leave Thursday if they can. Why not? Because it'll be better than leaving on Friday when things are busier. Chris Van Cleve had this to say from CBS on when's the best time to be on the road heading home after the Labor Day weekend.
The worst time to drive on the way back? Sunday between 2 and 8 p.m., Monday between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m., basically all day Monday.
Okay, so the worst time to come back home is all day Monday.
Okay.
According to Chris Van Cleve. So.
This report brought to you by Steinhoffels. Visit them at steinhoffels.com.
Your best night's sleep starts on a new Tempur-Pedic from Steinhoffels. Tempur-Pedics are designed to make aches and pains a thing of the past by relieving pressure points and supporting the body as no other mattress can. Right now, save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable base sets. Tempur-Pedic Queen Hybrid mattresses start at only $48 per month when you use Steinhoffels 60-month financing. Sleep better tonight on a new Tempur-Pedic. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Several locations, several choices. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
After 30 years of doing knee and hip replacements, Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup thought there had to be a better way, and that led him to regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it.
Now, after 20 years of successful orthobiologic treatments, lots of clinical data, research, and teaching, Dr. Scheinkup is National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
They've done an amazing job of becoming the most significant orthobiologic and regenerative medicine practice in the United States. QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
So if you have chronic pain from arthritis and you want to avoid drugs and surgery, call the experts in this revolutionary field, QC Kinetics.
To give patients real lasting relief from pain, that's what I live for. That's my mission.
Get your free consultation now. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Checking in with Debbie here at 7:39.
All right, westbound 94, watch for the backup starting at about 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's backed up from 92nd Street to 68th, back on the brakes from Mitchell Boulevard all the way to 35th. Southbound 43 is tightening up just through the Capitol Drive area. And then we've got some delays on westbound 894 from just before 27th Street all the way through to 68th. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Plenty of sunshine this morning, turning partly cloudy this afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-70s. A bit of a breezy wind out of the northeast today. Also the small chance for a sprinkler or light rain shower this afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear skies, temperatures falling into the 50s. Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, high temperatures in the lower 70s. Wednesday, more sunshine, high temperatures in the mid-70s. Thursday gets warmer, upper 70s, still plenty of sunshine. Friday, a mix of sun and clouds with high temperatures near 80. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 63 degrees. 20 minutes before 8 o'clock on Wisconsin's Morning News. I want to invite you to join our live webinar. You can sign up right now for this with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson, as well as Director of Financial Planning, Erik Strom. And we're going to be talking about the sunset of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, which could affect tax planning and which strategies will make sense for you as you do your financial planning. Also going to be talking about similar moments in history and options you may have to mitigate for a potential tax increase. So we're going to be talking about those choices the federal government may have to delay or eliminate that increase in 2025. It's all coming up. The Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com is where you sign up. And I'll be hosting this Thursday with our friends there at Annex Wealth Management. August 22nd, that's this week Thursday at noon. So it's free to attend, but you do have to sign up. And again, you do that on the webinar page at WTMJ.com. Talking about news about your money, if you will, Erik. Big news in the real estate sector. So if you are planning to sell your house, if you are trying to buy a house, a condo, what have you, this is important stuff.
Yeah, commissions are changing. Huge shift in how realtors do business. So over the weekend, new rules rolled out, change how commissions are handled. So home sellers used to have to pay both the buyer and the seller commissions, but now they'll be able to make some decisions on that and can negotiate that. So it's a little bit in the weeds, but also a great way to save some money if you're a buyer or a seller.
Yeah, I'm really interested to hear, and coming up just after 8 o'clock, I have a couple of local real estate agents coming in to talk with us about, okay, what does this mean for me? If I'm selling a home, what does it mean for me?
What do we need to know?
If I'm buying a home, what does it mean for me? are there going to actually be cost savings for buyers and sellers, or does the money just sort of move around a little bit?
Just gets reallocated.
Right. So those questions answered just after 8 o'clock this morning on Wisconsin's Morning News. We've got Brewers Extra Innings host Dom Catronio in-house in this year's studio coming up on Brewers 360 next.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Wisconsin's #1 Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. It's where to get more Mazda for your money and more for your trade. Well-qualified buyers lock in rates as low as 0% now on all-wheel drive Mazda favorites, like the invigorating Mazda CX-5, the rugged and refined Mazda CX-50, the 3-row Mazda CX-90, and more. Which Mazda's right for you? Treat yourself to a test drive and find out at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
Why trust Grandview Homes to buy your home? It's simple. We make the home selling process fast, easy, and stress-free, even if your home is less than perfect. No real estate agents, no repairs, no cleanouts needed. Leave the mess and the stress to us. At Grandview Homes, we live and work in your neighborhoods. Our reputation is built on 15 years treating sellers with the dignity and respect they deserve. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Packers and Ravens will have a joint practice later this week ahead of their final preseason game, which comes up on Sunday. Packers have a little bit of work to do following their unwatchable performance Sunday night.
I don't know. Do they?
Packers didn't play their starters in large part, but for a few here and there, and lost 27-2. Is the 2 even worth it?
Yeah,
I almost prefer to go nothing. 27-2 losers to the Broncos in Denver on Sunday night.
Also scoring 2 runs, the
Which was
Brewers.
enough.
The Brewers beat the Guardians 2-0 on Sunday afternoon at AmFam to complete the sweep, all thanks to
Code Red.
Code Red, Colin Ray throwing a no-hitter through 5 2/3, gave up a single, ultimately going 7 innings, giving up 2 hits and no runs. So now the Brewers' magic number, Pancake?
28.
Is 28. Up next, the Cardinals starting tomorrow night right here on WTMJ.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Holiday Automotive and a rare in-studio appearance.
Hello!
With Brewers Extra Innings host Dom Catronio. What's up, Dom?
Good morning. Felt like in a great mood, obviously, after that homestand here.
Holy cow.
Man, that sure feels good, right? I mean, you come off with some nervous moments midweek, right? You drop the first 2 to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and you're like, are we a team that's good enough to win a crummy division, but not good enough to play with the Stars? Then you get 2 more on the back end, get the split, and then you sweep, statistically, the best team in baseball from the American League, the Guardians.
And don't forget, Wednesday against the Dodgers, they were trailing, and they were having to come from behind, which is what they've done so well. And even before that game, Murph was joking, we talk about the slogan being undaunted for this team. You have to remind the team why you're undaunted. And Murph sort of jokes like, you make the shirts because you're not because you're undaunted, because you need to remind yourself, because I'm looking at Ohtani, I'm looking at Freeman, I'm feeling pretty daunted right now. And then the Brewers go on this run that they're on right now. And to do it in a variety of ways, the offense went nuts against the Reds. They had a couple of good games against the Dodgers. And then the offense kind of was quiet the last 2 days, but nonetheless, the bullpen, you're starting to see the vision of what's to come for this high-leverage bullpen down the stretch.
And we should also point out one of the reasons the offense would be quiet is because the Guardians, very good.
They can pitch, man.
Yes. Really good at baseball.
They're very good at baseball. It's amazing how they have 72 wins, and they're good at baseball. But I think the Brewers being able to put bat on ball, not rely on the home run ball like we had seen maybe previous iterations of the Brewers do, can certainly help them. I mean, yesterday they scored a run with a triple, base hit, then they had a hit and run, contact play. Like, just put the ball in play, good things happen.
Brewers head down to St. Louis. Now we get an off day today, and then 3 against the Cardinals. Can almost put a fork in the Cardinals and kind of the division. I mean, granted, a lot of baseball to play, but man, we're 11 up on them right now.
Exactly. I think I said it on my show last night, that you can finally cut the head off the snake this week. And all you got to do is win 1 game. I mean, because if you win 1 game, you take the season series, which will automatically add a game to that lead. So even if let's say you lose the series, okay, so you'll technically be up 10 games. But with the season series, you'll be up 11 games. So it's essentially just win 1, season series is over, they're cooked. You have it on the Cubs already, you have it on the Reds already. And the Brewers are in, obviously, great shape here in the division.
So what does the challenge become? Just making sure you keep your foot on the gas and keep make sure that the urgency remains day in and day out.
The good news is they're still going to face a couple of teams that are in the hunt, like the Diamondbacks. They still haven't seen them. They still haven't seen the Giants. They'll still see the Phillies one more time as they try to chase down for this 1 or 2 seed, whoever it's going to be. Keep in mind, the Dodgers have the season series on the Brewers, so I know we're technically ahead of them. Really, the Dodgers are ahead, actually, by a game and a half. But you can still take that season series on the Phillies with a sweep. Only a sweep will take the season series on the Phils.
See, that's why I like how this sets up. Largely, again, barring the unforeseen, safe in the division, but also still a lot to play for as we try for that 1 or 2 seed and get that first series off. I do not want to be in that wild card series again. I've said this for months.
I know people love the memories of Game 163, but finally we have a reason to care about games in September when you have an 11-game lead in the division. All eyes on that Phillies series in a month.
Pretty neat moment on Sunday. The kid being honored 50 years since his debut. Pretty cool.
That was awesome, man. He stopped by the booth, obviously, and it was just, it's really cool because as somebody who obviously never got to see him play live, but just hearing the stories and the humbleness and watching the highlights and reading everything I've read about Robin, he's as authentic as they come. And you just sit there like, this dude got 3,000 hits, Hall of Famer, played short and center field MVP, both positions. Like, that's not going to happen again. That's insane what he was able to do.
There's an amazing moment yesterday when he was speaking to the reporters and to the media, and he said there was a year like in '89 or whatever when he was debating about going to the Angels and going for a World Series pennant and leaving Milwaukee, and he said he got stacks and stacks and stacks of letters from schools, like it was school projects for the kids to write him letters saying, please stay. And he actually got choked up even talking about it, just how much energy was spent trying to make sure he didn't leave. And he said it was the best decision he ever made.
Know who else reads his fan mail still? Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy reads fan mail. So
good to know.
Be pleasurable.
That is good
It'll
to
be
know.
nice, but hey, you can write an old-fashioned letter and Pat might read it.
Well, then we should do that. Maybe he'll read our
send
letter.
it and see if he gets it.
Dom, one last thing that I wanted to ask you about, just selfishly, because I was there Friday night. What are the rules on when you can open and close the roof during the game?
Well,
because it was steamy in there. The rain, it had to be closed initially, but then the rain passed through, and I'm like, please, somebody open this thing up.
And yesterday, obviously, it was sunny at the end of the game. People were like, well, open the roof. Well, at that point, it's like, okay, if I had control over that, I don't think I'd be sitting here talking to you guys. So the point of it is, we would have had a doubleheader yesterday if we didn't have the roof on Friday and Saturday. So even when it's closed, enjoy it. It's
Open
closed
it
for
up.
a reason.
Brewers Extra Innings host Dom Catronio
buddy.
live with us today. Thanks, Dom.
Morning, guys. Thanks.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Well, how do you say welcome to your guests? Say it with a new entry door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Say it with color. The possibilities are endless thanks to Pella's custom colors. Say it with class. Pella's premium doors stand out due to their distinguished craftsmanship.
Say it with a great deal. Get 0% interest for up to 60 months with no money down and equal payments.
Hurry up, though. The offer ends at the end of August. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Time for another new coat of paint on your house? Get Rhino Shield ceramic coating. You won't have to paint again for 25 years guaranteed. Right now, get $1,500 off with 12 months same as cash financing. Visit RhinoShieldWIS.com or call 262-483-2566.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Debbie Lozica gets a your turn, Deb.
Southbound 43 backing up now from just before Hampton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound side, a little bit heavy from North Avenue up to Keefe. Westbound 94 on the brakes from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes just west of Highway 100 heading into Waukesha County as well. Eastbound is backed up from about 84th Street all the way through to 35th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Forecast sponsored by Dave Drecamp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Partly cloudy today, a high of 75. It is a bit breezy today at times, and there is a chance for an isolated shower or sprinkle this afternoon. Tonight, clear, a low of 59. Tuesday, sunny, 71. Wednesday, sunny, 74. Thursday, sunny, 77. Friday, 80 degrees. Right now, 62 at 7:53.
Idea Man.
Now I know what it's like to be Brian Bulaga.
Innovator.
Who in 2010 stepped into the starting lineup for an old, broken down, washed up right tackle and helped the Packers to a Super Bowl title.
And Packers Hall of Famer.
Tausch loves to bring up Lou Gehrig and Wally Pipp. I hope he's nervous this morning because I'm not sure he's ever getting this job back.
It's time for Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News is sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tausch out just for today. We have the aforementioned ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde live with us nonetheless. Good morning, Jason.
What the hell are you guys doing?
What's the matter?
What? So Tausch gets back, you play that? I thought we had I thought we were friends. Then I got to deal with him at 9 o'clock on our show. Oh, you think you're going to Wally Pitt me, huh? I mean, come on. It was in the name of humor. And you guys, I love you guys, but it's fine because I thought that listening to that again, it was even funnier than it was the first time. Agreed. It was great. I was very proud of that.
Listen,
I had to deal with him for 3 hours.
We speak to the comedy gods first, so they must be appeased, Wilde. All right, let's start here. Is there anything whatsoever at all that we need to take away from what we saw Sunday night in the Packers-Broncos?
Yeah, the comedy of errors last night. Yeah, look, I would say this, and I understand that some folks on social media maybe don't get it when you're being facetious. I found that out the hard way last night. But I would say we should take away the fact that if the Green Bay Packers lose every single one of their starters on both sides of the ball, they're going to have a really hard time winning games. Because that was, holy smokes. I've been doing this for a while now, and I've seen some bad preseason games, no doubt about it. But I've told you guys, and I've told other people before, I love the preseason because this is when guys that are trying to keep the dream alive can have those incredible moments where the football gods shine down on them. And last night, I mean, it was just ugly. I mean, when your defense outscores your offense, things have not gone well. And all kidding aside, I was a little surprised. Matt LaFleur basically came out and questioned the backups' effort. And I personally believe that when he watches the tape, Matt will say, I shouldn't have said that because they went against the starters for the Broncos. What did you think would happen, right? And so down deep inside, I think he has to know that he put his guys in a tough spot, and they probably were trying hard. They're just not as good as NFL frontline players.
It's funny you say that because Vince and I looked at each other when we first heard that soundbite too and thought the same thing. It just seemed like a strange thing to say on a game that you were pretty much just almost phoning in from the start, it appeared.
Right, a little early for the we need to look in the mirror soundbite, right?
Right, and look, he had Adam Stenovich call the plays. He didn't start there were 31 guys who didn't play. I think 6 of them probably didn't play due to injury. So you're talking more than 24 guys who were perfectly healthy. And in fairness to Sean Clifford, who did not play well, I am not making excuses for him at all. But he had the backup offensive line in front of him. He was throwing to backup tight ends and wide receivers. Like, if catastrophically something happens to Jordan Love, and let's say he misses 3 games, I still think there's a better chance that Sean Clifford plays meaningfully better than he did last night because he'd be playing with Watson and Wicks and Reed and Josh Jacobs and all those guys. So I don't think it's worth panicking about, But again, I was taken aback. I obviously was watching him talk in Denver last night, and when he said that, I was like, dude, like, what exactly were you anticipating?
ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde on with us. So we got the Baltimore Ravens in town this week. Another one of these joint practices, and then the game on Saturday, a noon start at Lambeau Field. So Jordan Love has at least suggested that he would be open to taking more snaps in this preseason. We expect to see him. We're going to see these starters here this week, Jason?
I am so torn on this. And I do believe that the joint practice concept, which has become so popular across the league, is really helpful. I think the other part of this, by the way, is that LaFleur was ticked because the Broncos kind of ate their lunch in the joint practice too. And that really bothered him because that was the starters who struggled. But I don't know what you do here because, I remember going to Pittsburgh in August of 2015 and seeing the season come crashing down right there in a preseason game when Jordy Nelson tore his ACL. They won some games that year. They got off to a decent start, but ultimately he was one of the best players in football the previous year. He was first team All-Pro, and they lost him in a game that didn't count, and the season was largely lost there. So, again, I don't care how irritated Matt LaFleur is about how things looked in Denver. I still don't think it's worth risking the health and welfare of your best players. And, yeah, maybe you get through it without anything bad happening to any of them. But if something does happen and you think you've got a Super Bowl team and you lost a key guy in a meaningless game at Lambeau Field, you're going to regret it.
You know what the most interesting part of the game was Sunday night? The Broncos uniforms. A little bit different.
Okay. Slick, aren't they? Those are nice.
I didn't mind them. I thought they were unique. I liked it. It's one good thing about the game last night.
How bad is it when we're complimenting the opponent's uniform?
Luke Erik live with us on Wisconsin's Morning News this morning. Thanks, Luke.
You got it, Wally. Take care. Be good.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
Our southern border is in chaos, with drugs and criminals flowing into our country. But sanctuary cities protect illegal immigrants who commit crimes from being deported. Like an illegal immigrant arrested for battery in Madison. He should have been deported. Instead, he was released back into the community and went on to assault several more women, including a 13-year-old girl. Senator Tammy Baldwin voted 9 times to support federal funding for sanctuary cities that refuse to cooperate with immigration officials and release these dangerous criminals back onto our streets. And Senator Baldwin voted for amnesty for 11 million illegals, including convicted criminals. Call Senator Baldwin 608-264-5338. Urge her to support S-1068, the Stop Dangerous Sanctuary Cities Act. Stop protecting illegal immigrants and start protecting Wisconsin. Paid for by One Nation, www.onenationamerica.org.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
8:02, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. Monday, August 19th, our top story, kicking off the DNC in the Windy City.
I'm Erik Bilstad, going off the rails in Canada.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 43, backing up from just south of Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound's going to be a bit backed up from about Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Westbound 94, watch for delays from about 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, with the eastbound side hitting the brakes right about at 84th Street all the way through to about 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Chance of an isolated afternoon shower or sprinkle. A bit on the breezy side today under partly cloudy skies and a high of 75 degrees. Tonight mainly clear, low down to 59. Milwaukee temp now at 65. And from the WTMJ, breaking news center decision, Wisconsin. Democratic National Convention kicking off today in Chicago, just weeks after President Biden ended his campaign endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris.
Tonight, the spotlight is on President Biden as he takes the stage and delivers remarks at the DNC. This is a very different night than what his team was envisioning just a few weeks ago when he was still in the race for the White House. But tonight, aides say he'll make a strong case for Vice President Harris and her running mate, Governor Walz, and then hand off the convention to them. Tonight's theme, For the People. Aides to the president say he'll speak about how his administration has worked to ensure democracy prevailed and delivered for Americans and how it must be preserved. Karen Travers, ABC News, Chicago.
4 men accused of killing a man outside a downtown hotel in Milwaukee will be in court this morning for their preliminary hearings. Todd Erickson, Devin Johnson-Carson, Brandon Turner, and Herbert Williamson all face felony murder charges in the death of Devontae Mitchell. Mitchell, you may recall, was killed outside of the Hyatt Regency Hotel after he went inside the hotel and caused a disturbance in late June.
Woman found guilty of reckless homicide in a high-profile case you might remember out of Kenosha County. It was a murder case. She's going to learn her sentence today. Crystal Kaiser, she ended up pleading guilty to the charge connected to the 2018 death of Randall Villar, whom Kaiser argued was trafficking her for sex when she was just 17 years old. Now, Kaiser's lawyers argued that she was justified in her actions under Wisconsin state law that allows one to be acquitted of all charges if a crime was committed as a direct result of having been trafficked. Reckless homicide carries a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison.
Man from Onalaska has been convicted in the deadly shooting back in 2021 of 3 men whose bodies were found outside a Wisconsin quarry in the western portion of the state.
We, the jury, find Nia Tao guilty as to count 1 as charged in the information.
Nia Tao was found guilty on all 3 counts of murder last week in the shooting deaths outside a quarry northeast of La Crosse, all over a disputed $600. A woman who had been with the victims told police that a second suspect, Kemteneth Ratanasek, gave Tao the gun Tao used to shoot them multiple times. Ratanasek was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole last January. Tao will learn his fate October 14th. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Could soon be new supply chain disruptions, even here in the U.S., due to labor issues to the north. CBS News correspondent Jim Krasula.
Canada's 2 biggest railroads are starting to shut down their shipping networks as a labor dispute with the Teamsters Union threatens to cause lockouts or strikes. That would disrupt trade with the U.S., since the Canadian National and Canadian Pacific Kansas City railroads both haul millions of tons of freight across the border.
Former New York Congressman George Santos is expected to plead guilty to multiple counts in his federal fraud case today. Santos has previously pleaded not guilty to a range of financial crimes.
Coming up, high-stakes meetings in the Middle East. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:05.
News is sponsored by BBC Lighting. Thousands of specialty light fixtures, open Monday through Saturday.
Hi folks, this is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Monte Carlo, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I personally guarantee it. At our award-winning showroom, you'll also find special factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. At this year's NBA Parade of Homes, August 10th to September 2nd, you'll see more of our lights and fans in most every model home. Our showroom is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 4, located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands. Richlands.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:07.
Milwaukee police still searching for 28-year-old Stephen Lisowski's white man, roughly 6 feet tall, short brown hair, brown eyes, tattoos on both forearms. Last seen wearing a purple and blue tie-dye shirt near 27th and Botsford Saturday around 11:30. Photo and more information available at WTMJ.com.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is back in the Middle East for high-stakes meetings as the U.S. pushes to seal a ceasefire deal with Gaza.
From Jerusalem, Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he's back in the region to get the U.S. brokered Gaza ceasefire over the finish line and to prevent any escalation from Hezbollah and Iran. Blinken calling the negotiations that began in Doha, quote, the best and last chance to bring the hostages home and reach a ceasefire. But he faces steep challenges. Israel's prime minister still refusing to fully withdraw the IDF from Gaza, and late Sunday, Hamas rejected the Doha ceasefire proposal. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
At least one body now recovered off the coast of Sicily after a yacht went down in bad weather. 6 other people still missing.
On the surface and in the air, the search goes on for the missing off the port of Porticello, where a luxury sailboat carrying foreign tourists capsized and sank. The British flag vessel had a crew of 10 and a dozen passengers. In all, 15 people were rescued. The wreck's been located some 160 feet down. Deepwater divers are arriving. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Changes coming to how we buy and sell homes. Will it have any effect on you, the buyer, the seller, or the market at large? We'll talk about it next with a couple of local real estate agents who will answer our questions on Wisconsin's Morning News.
It's still summer in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin Harley-Davidson in Oconomowoc has you covered for fun in the sun. From bike nights to Saturday rides, or maybe just some retail therapy like a new motorcycle, or just a little something for yourself, there's always something going on. Check out Wisconsin Harley-Davidson at WISHD.com and like and follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and online at WISHD.com. Don't just see the world. Feel it right here, right now. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. Right now, receive 0% financing for 60 months. That is 5 years. Restrictions apply. Tell them I sent you and get an additional $250 off your project for the last windows you'll ever need. Go to UWD.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here. I absolutely love Wisconsin this time of year. It's absolutely heaven, especially on a lake, especially after a swim perhaps, or maybe even water skiing. But again, you know how that goes. You do something like that, then the joint pain really starts to act up. The knees really start to bark. And you know you want to take care of it, but you don't want surgery. Well, there is another way. QC Kinetics. There's exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief in your joints, and the place to go is QC Kinetics, using cutting-edge treatments, but no surgery, no drugs, and here's the best part, no downtime. You can get right back to work the day of your treatment. Call QC Kinetics today and find out what they can do for you. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. This is the future of medicine. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation, 414-285-3474.
Hey, 10, let's check in on the morning drive here with Debbie.
All right, it's going to be slowing down northbound on 4394 coming out of the Plainfield curve all the way up to Oklahoma Avenue. You'll be back on the brakes right around the North Avenue curve all the way up past Keefe. Southbound 43 heavy from just before Hampton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Westbound 94, watch for delays from 27th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's going to be slow from 84th all the way to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
High of 75 degrees today under partly cloudy skies. Just a chance this afternoon of an isolated shower or sprinkle. And meteorologist Tyler Moore says it's going to be a bit on the breezy side once again today. Tonight, mainly clear skies and a low down to 59. Milwaukee temp at 65 right now.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
New rules now in effect that may change the way we buy and sell our homes or condos, or at least how we pay the folks who help us do that, real estate agents. So how will these rules affect sellers, buyers, the market at large? In studio with us this morning, we have the Combs team of RE/MAX Lakeside, Tom and Shannon Combs, husband and wife real estate team, and here to help us sort this out. Great to see you both.
Good to see you. Thanks for having us here.
I was telling Erik when I'm trying to set this up with Tom and Shannon over the weekend, they're like, yeah, sorry we didn't get back to you right away. We're in the middle of actually making an offer right now. Did I screw up a deal, or are we good there?
No, we're good. But it was pretty competitive. There were multiple offers we were competing against with a couple buyers. So
that's still happening as we sort of set the stage for the market. Do these over-asking price, multiple offers have to be competitive? What's going on out there?
The general perception is that everything is going way over asking. It's typically 1% over asking on average in Milwaukee and Waukesha counties. So it's a little bit, the perception is a little bit different than reality. But that is still a very, very strong market.
So if you are trying to buy a house, you have to offer over the listing price pretty much?
Not necessarily, because asking price is just a suggestion. Some houses are listed too high. Some of them are listed appropriately. So you need to have a good real estate agent working on your behalf to help you guide you through that.
So we're talking with Tom and Shannon Combs, husband-wife real estate team here of RE/MAX Lakeside. Let's talk about the new rules that are now fully in effect in terms of commission and whatnot. First, tell me what's changed, and then we'll get into how it affects me, the buyer, me, the seller, and maybe how you do business as well. What's changed?
So there's two significant changes that went into effect, and across the United States, they had to be in effect by August 17th, which was Saturday. The first one is no more MLS offers of compensation. So commission to agents working with buyers are no longer allowed to appear in any MLS. Sellers can still make those offers of compensation, but it just can't be in the MLS. So that's the first change. The second change is that written agreements with buyers are required when working with buyers and touring homes. So there must be a written agreement in place before touring a home if an agent's working on behalf of a buyer.
So typically, would that mean that if an agent is with you when you go to look at a home, then that agent, no matter what, usually when you enter the house, that agent gets a little something no matter what? Typically before the change?
Before the change, yes.
And now that's...
It's a little bit different. If the buyer wants someone to represent them in the transaction, which we strongly suggest, they have to have a buyer agency agreement signed and in place before touring the home, and that has changed from what was before.
Right. Yeah, we used to be able to just you ask us to show a home. Sure, we'll go take you to show the home. But now we're going to have that conversation that we have to have something signed, either a buyer agency agreement or a pre-agency agreement before touring the home if we're going to act on behalf of that buyer.
Okay, so let's start with I'm selling my house. In terms of how that maybe affects the list price or how much money I can make in selling my house, are there differences there because of this or no?
Supply and demand really affects what the final sell price is. So true marketplace. A seller can offer compensation to buyer's agents so that the buyer doesn't have to write a check at the end of the transaction. They can roll their agent's representation into the loan, which is the way it's been going before. So some buyers may look at a house, if a seller is not offering compensation, they may look at it and say, I don't want to write an offer on that house because I'm going to have to write a check and I can't roll those into my loan, which may hurt the seller in competition, because it's competition between buyers is what helps the seller generate the most money at closing.
Okay, so then let's shift it on to the buyer. Then I'm out there in the market. I'm looking for a house. Is this I think it's been perceived by some as an opportunity for me. Oh, now I can save a little money. It sounds more like we're just shuffling money around, right?
I think that's more accurate. Just way to say it. It's just moving around maybe a little bit. But I mean, the biggest change for buyers is that they're going to be asked by their agent to sign something prior to that first showing. That's the biggest change for buyers.
So what if you then change agents later on, a change and have a different buyer's agent later on? Would then both agents need to have something signed?
A buyer should not sign two buyer agency
agreements. Yeah, you can only really have one buyer
time.
Agency contract signed at a
time. So then
time.
you're stuck with that buyer agent.
That's why you should interview agents first, do some research, have a conversation. The driving force for most people is I see this house, and they're thinking about buying. Oh, let's just go see this house. So they'll call an agent. Sometimes they already have an agent. Sometimes they get a referral. Sometimes they may go online and find somebody. Now, if they don't have a conversation with that agent, well, now they have to have that conversation with the agent. But if they don't go through this ahead of time and interview some agents and make sure it's a good fit, then they may be seeing the house with somebody that maybe isn't the best fit for them.
Sure.
And there are a variety of options for that buyer because that pre-agency agreement, I mean, there's certain, it's kind of like, they call it like the dating period with a pre-agency where you're not 100% committed to that agent. You don't necessarily have to write an offer with that agent, but you would want to talk about that buyer agency agreement before.
Tom and Shannon Combs, husband-wife real estate team from RE/MAX Lakeside. So what about open houses? Can I still just go to an open house by myself and take a look at the house, and does that change anything?
You can, but it affects whether or not you have representation and maybe whether or not if you want to have a buyer's agent represent you in the transaction, it may affect whether or not that buyer's agent is paid through the transaction, or you may have to, again, write a check outside of your loan.
So in other words, if I'm doing this on my own, then I'm working with the agent who's selling the house, right?
Yes.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And I have to figure that out by myself?
Yes.
Good luck.
Right, good luck with that.
Good luck.
The offer to purchase has 621 lines, and I like to say that every line is because somebody somewhere lost some money. You should have somebody
We
that
thought
knows
of all
what
of these things, right?
Yeah, and many of them have been played out in court, and that's why the WRA has added so many. When we started, the offer was 5 pages. Now it's 11. So,
And that would give someone like me a headache, I think.
yeah.
Which is why you have your agents.
Yeah, that's why you have it. For the younger generation, so we talk about millennials a lot and Gen Z a lot. Is it too early to say? Is a small sample size, or is it large enough to know whether or not these generations, whether it's Gen Z or millennial, that like have the interest in buying homes like the Gen Xers did?
They do. It's the American dream.
Yeah,
and owning a home is the best thing you can do for the general public to generate wealth.
So yes, okay,
yes,
good.
And are you seeing, like, as you're engaging with these younger folks now with interest rates where they are, it's added yet another layer for them to make things a little bit more expensive? I mean, I can't remember what we're locked in at. I know we're sub 4 either.
Really low,
when we refied after, post COVID. Yeah. But what are we at right now, and how is that affecting things?
We are seeing in the 6s now, high 6s,
which is better than we were, right?
Right.
Like, we were over 7 for a while there.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that, rates go down, you see competition may go up, and a lot of people will buy by their monthly payment. So,
right. That's how you look at whether this is affordable for me, even though, right, your agents can tell you otherwise, right?
Correct, yeah. The Milwaukee market is one of the hottest markets in the nation, though.
Why?
It's supply and demand. Milwaukee's a great area. There's a lot to offer here, and a lot of people want to move here. We are seeing a lot of transplants we've had 3 clients from California in the last year and a half. We're always seeing people come from the Chicago area.
Well, we'll take them. We'll find some place for them. Do you have certain areas that you only sell to Chicago people? You all would be very great.
No, but they are required to get some Packer memorabilia at closing.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
Move, yeah.
Tom and Shannon Combs, the Combs team of RE/MAX Lakeside. Thanks so much for the clarity this morning.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
8:21 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Debbie, let's get an update on the morning drive here.
All righty. Well, we got southbound on 43 backing up a bit from just before Hampton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. The northbound side's a bit heavy coming up around the North Avenue curve all the way up past Keefe. We've got westbound 94 backing up from about 35th Street all the way through the stadium interchange to Mitchell Boulevard. Another broken down vehicle just west of the county line off on the right shoulder. Something to keep in mind with that. We've got eastbound 94, 76th Street through to about 35th. It's going to be a bit slow there. And 894 westbound through the construction zone from 27th Street all the way to 68th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
I-94 eastbound. A semi just came to a screeching stop in the center lane. I think he's broken down right there.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, at the Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
On southbound I-94, right around Drexel Avenue, there's a wreck in the left lane, and the left lane is blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
The odds are overwhelming. It's not a fair fight. On our own, you and I are no match against that triple tag team of sin, death, and the devil. Let's not overestimate our ability to resist evil. We can't, but God can and has through the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. A classic message by Dr. Dale Meyer this week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
For love of the game.
But there's nothing like being selected to the Olympic team.
And love of their country.
Championship of that level, gold medal, means more.
Tune into Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Inside stories from Bucks stars on the agony and triumph of competing to win it all at the Olympics. It's Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
Labor shortages, retention problems, it's been a challenging time for my business. But in Wisconsin, there's 600,000 people with disabilities who are ready to work right now. They just need you to believe in them and say yes. I did.
And once you say yes, Thinkability Wisconsin will be there, providing transition and workforce support for people with disabilities and their employers to help shape a better future for all. It all starts when you say yes. Join the movement at thinkabilitywi.org.
You know Fleet Farm's got everything for everyday life. But did you also know we have the best prices guaranteed every day? Pet food, wild bird food, automotive, hunting, fishing, farming, you name it. All your everyday essentials, all at the best prices guaranteed. And if you happen to find a lower price elsewhere, we'll match it. Any day, every day. Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life at the best prices guaranteed.
.824 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Democratic National Convention kicks off today in Chicago.
And I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
All right, Donkey. Donkey, Democrats, right? So
I think you have to define that because people will think you're making fun of them.
No,
Right.
Democrats are donkeys.
Their mascot, their thing, right.
And
Republicans are the elephants. Democrats are the donkeys.
You know what's funny?
So
My
no one's making fun of anybody.
13-year-old randomly asked me yesterday, well, why aren't Republicans rhinos? And I was like, you know what? That's kind of funny. I'm like, for multiple reasons, that question is funny, and I'm not even going to try to answer it. Anyway, so the DNC starts today officially. So what can we expect? Well, tonight is the big President Biden night. So he is going to give the keynote. First Lady Jill Biden will be there as well. Hillary Clinton will be there. But it will be basically the quote-unquote passing of the torch tonight at the United Center.
And he literally goes on vacation after this.
Yeah, he's going to California for the
He's
week.
like, all right, I said my thing. I'm out. Your party now.
So what's he going to do? Is he going to tour the Reagan Museum in California?
Well, he's not
Where's
seeing
he gonna
the
go?
sites.
Go into Yosemite.
There's all these
Always
touristy
wanted to
things.
Climb Yosemite. Do
No.
something like that. Anyway, so that's what's happening today. Tomorrow, former President Barack Obama will be the keynote. The former First Lady Michelle Obama will also speak. What's interesting about tomorrow is Kamala Harris is supposed to campaign here in Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum. We still don't have a time yet, as far as I know, as to when that's going to take place and how close that will be to the primetime speeches. But we do know that Harris will be in Chicago tonight for the Biden speech. Not sure about tomorrow.
And as far as tomorrow's event at Fiserv Forum, right, Erik, we don't have, we've not been given by the campaign timing or exact details or anything of that matter. We brought it up on the air this morning of how are they going to fill the place, because you definitely think you pick Fiserv Forum and you fill it and show a huge rally. Those are the optics that the campaign wants. How do you fill it if you hadn't widely publicized how people can go? We heard from someone on the WTMJ Talk and Text line. There must be someone who's subscribed to, you can sign up at any of the campaign websites.
Yeah. And then
subscribe for updates. Yep. And then, so some sort of email, according to this person, has gone out to people who are connected to the campaign, and then it asks you to apply to attend the event. And this person was saying he or she has already applied, knows someone who's already gotten tickets. So that must be how they're going about it. But you made the point of a lot of folks from here who are interested in this kind of thing are already going to be in Chicago.
So would the mayor come back for that? Would the county executive, or would other high-profile Democrats from Wisconsin come back for that stump speech? And you want to fill the place, right, if you're holding it at Pfizer.
So details on that still not publicly available. We've got a number of messages out to the campaign to try to find out the exact timing of that, and that'll be something that we'll be detailing through the day on Wisconsin's afternoon news, midday news, this news, that news, just the news.
So there's going to be counter-programming on the Republican side of things. Former President Donald Trump is going to be out there stumping again today and through the week. Current Senator and GOP VP candidate J.D. Vance will be back in Southeast Wisconsin tomorrow. So Vance will be in Kenosha at noon outside the Kenosha County Courthouse. Going to hold a news conference. Got some of the other Republicans with him from the state. Brian Stile supposed to be there. Eric Hovde as well. So he's going to hold that at noon tomorrow, just days after being in Milwaukee and getting the endorsement from the police union.
Yeah, and I see Senator Vance's visit not only about boosting the Trump-Vance ticket, but also you mentioned some of the others who are going to be down ballot that he'll be supporting, trying to get support for those candidates as well on the Republican side. One tease ahead here, the Libertarian Party also going to be on the ballot in Wisconsin in November. And we have, top of the ticket is Chase Oliver. He's the party's nominee for president. Party's nominee for vice president is Mike Tremont, and he is in Wisconsin campaigning this week as well. Mr. Tremont is in studio with us at 20 minutes before 9 o'clock, so we talk with him coming up on Wisconsin's Morning News.
It's Heiser's end of summer sizzling savings event, and these deals are hot. Save big on sleek sedans, powerful SUVs, and rugged trucks. Perfect for epic weekend getaways, road trips, or just cruising around town. Customers are our top priority. We're all about giving you the best car buying experience ever. And with our exclusive Safe and Sound program, have peace of mind for the whole family. So what are you waiting for? Stop in or shop online today. At Heiser, today's your day.
Okay, I'm going to say it. School is right around the corner. Hi, everybody. Debbie Lazaga here for Comfort Awnings, and I'm sorry, but it's true. So how about a pop quiz? Do you avoid spending time outside in your yard because the sun's just too darn strong? Do you sometimes wish you could relax outside with the pitter-patter of rain softly falling, but you don't want to get wet? Do you look at your house and say, meh, I'm kind of bored with this? Well, if you said yes to any of those questions, may I suggest you talk to my friends at Comfort Awnings, your awnings and screenings experts. They have great selection of beautiful retractable awnings, custom made to fit your home, and they help you pick out the best color and fabric. And when it's time to install, they come out, hook everything up, make it all look great, and leave your home nice and clean. And what do you have left? Just an awesome retractable awning and an extension to your living space that you'll want to relax in for the foreseeable future. Right now, till the end of the month, you can receive $200 off any awning or screen. Give them a call at 414-Awnings for a free estimate or visit comfortawnings.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Guthrie & Fry Water Conditioning. I've got their water softener. I've got an RO system from Guthrie & Fry. That means the water coming into my house is filtered. It's crisp, clean, clear. Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie & Fry. Quality products and services at a fair price from a local company you can trust. Guthrie & Fry protects the water in my house. They deliver the salt. Sue and Rob, owners, very generous. And on top of it, they'll treat your family like their family. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice is Guthrie & Fry.
Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie & Fry.
Our pain relief treatments are FDA approved. That's why your insurance will likely cover them. So-called bioregenerative options are considered experimental, and your insurance will not cover those. Our process is simple. Stem cells, plasma, and bone marrow therapies are not at all simple, and they're nowhere near as affordable as we made our treatments. At Rejuvenex, the cost of your pain relief treatment can be as low as $65 per injection per joint. Our proprietary, powerful, anti-inflammatory and lubricating treatments allow for better joint function that can alleviate your pain. And after we start, your next treatment could be as long as 18 to 24 months away. For some, it's sooner, but when it's working, it's worth it. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line. 414-238-9329.
8:32, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News, our top story. A star-studded convention expected in Chicago.
I'm Erik. Bilstad. Allegations of police misconduct in Baraboo.
I'm Debbie Lazaga in southbound 43. Looks like we've got a broken down vehicle just south of Silver Spring. The right lane is blocked with this, so that's going to be affecting your ride. Still going to be kind of heavy all the way down past Capitol Drive anyway. Northbound on 43, slowing right around the North Avenue curve up past Keith. Eastbound 94, you'll be riding the brakes just east of 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. And then on northbound 4394, we're backing up basically starting at Howard Avenue all the way up past Oklahoma. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Shower or sprinkle is possible, isolated in nature this afternoon. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies and a high of 75 degrees. Low down to 59 tonight under mainly clear skies. And right now, Milwaukee, it's 65. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Democratic National Convention opening today in Chicago. President Biden and the First Lady scheduled to speak and hand the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris. Who else is expected at the podium?
The RNC in Milwaukee had a celebrity flavor to it, featuring the likes of Hulk Hogan and Dana White. What's on tap for the DNC?
Tuesday, we're going to have a celebratory roll call in the arena, which I can tell you is going to be must-watch TV on Tuesday evening.
Matt Hill is the Senior Director of Communications for the DNC.
Both President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama, as well as President Clinton, you're going to see speakers on our stage that reflect the diversity, the strength, and the future of America.
Any surprises?
I'm not going to spill any of the beans here just yet.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
The vice president due to accept the nomination on Thursday, day after her running mate. Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota will accept the nomination for VP.
On Sunday, Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg and U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin campaigned in Madison. Later this week, Republican VP candidate J.D. Vance will return to southeast Wisconsin. He will speak in Kenosha tomorrow at noon, and his appearance will come on the same day that the vice president and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, are expected to hold a rally at Fiserv Forum.
Suburban police still looking for 2 suspects after a home invasion, attempted burglary, and a shooting. This is in Menominee Falls, happened Sunday. Suspects broke into a home on Wire Farm Drive, and the victim inside was shot after confronting them. That victim suffered serious injuries but is expected to survive. And right now, police are asking neighbors for any video they might have from perhaps doorbell cameras or other surveillance that they can share with officers as they continue to search for these suspects.
3 Baraboo police officers are under investigation for possible connections to a suspect in a drug investigation. The allegations stem from 3 search warrants at Baraboo properties connected to William Deppy. One of the officers now currently on administrative leave regarding that alleged misconduct.
Not a good day for swimming in Lake Michigan. In fact, folks being warned to stay away from the lake due to life-threatening waves and strong currents. Beach hazard statement in effect until tonight. National Weather Service says waves are forecast to reach 3 to 5 feet.
Time now for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The bell has rung. The Dow starting the day up 125, the NASDAQ up 9, and the S&P up 9. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Vince Vitrano for Absolute Comfort HVAC and Electrical. I'm joined by Nicole. She and her husband Brent own the company. Nicole, why should folks call you guys?
Because we treat your home like ours. That means honest and high quality work. We want you to be a part of our family. We're there for your emergencies when you need it, but most important to us is building a long-term relationship for all of your HVAC and electrical needs.
Absolute Comfort HVAC and Electrical, 262-664-9284, yourcomfortguys.com.
As the kid
Kiddos get ready to get back to school? You can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
David Nason of The Fix-It Show here with my friend Chris Mancuso of Accurate Basement Repair.
Hey, David, did you know it's been the third wettest spring here in Milwaukee, like since 1870?
Seriously? Tell us more.
Well, it's a great time to get down in that basement and take the smell test. If it smells musty, take a flashlight, take a look around, see what you have.
As a home inspector, I know firsthand, do not procrastinate. Have your basement looked at ASAP or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com because they're not just good, they're accurate.
When's the last time you bought a book? Well, apparently, books are hot right now. Everyone wants one. And the stores...
Everyone wants a book. Okay.
And the stores are reopening.
Barnes & Noble, back from the brink of extinction, is opening 58 stores this year, the most it's opened in a single year since at least 2009, according to Fast Company magazine. It's already opened 32 of the planned new stores this year in 20 states. They're not just popping up in big cities. The chain is opening stores around the country in places like Estero, Florida, Jonesboro, Arkansas, American Fork, Utah, and Victor, New York. Take that, Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon, take that. That's CBS News' Christopher Cruz there. And they think part of the reason for the idea and the desire to have physical books is because of social media. Facebook has different book reading clubs. TikTok does a bunch of book stuff. So there are different online facets that are bringing books back into the mainstream, if you will.
But yet the traversing the shelves of the bookstore is a reversal of where we were for some time.
Yeah.
And I put this, like I told you, my Gen Z kid is buying new music on vinyl, and the other day was using a point-and-shoot camera.
Right.
I'm like, what is this? And she goes, no, this is a thing now. Well, and yes, social media fueled. They've seen others on TikTok doing, no, this is the cool way to take pictures.
Well, my 13-year-old, we just repainted her room, and she asked if she could have a giant bookshelf and put 1 million books on it because she saw on Pinterest or somewhere that that's a neat thing now to have a bookshelf that has 1 million books on it in your room. It's stylish.
So here's the deal you make with them. Yes, and you can only put books on it that you actually read. This isn't decoration. Right. Then it would be your trophy case, and I'm for it. 8:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Let's get an update here on the Morning Drive. How's the traffic, Deb?
Well, we're still dealing with an issue on southbound 43. It's a broken down vehicle just south of Silver Spring. They were able to move everything off onto the right shoulder, though. So just watch for delays heading past that, all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound is backed up from about North Avenue all the way up past Keefe. Other than that, westbound 94 has cleared up nicely. We're looking okay with that through the stadium. Eastbound's looking a little slow from 84th Street all the way to 35th. And westbound 894 slow through the construction zone from Loomis to about 68th Street. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Our southern border is in chaos with drugs and criminals flowing into our country. But sanctuary cities protect illegal immigrants who commit crimes from being deported. Like an illegal immigrant arrested for battery in Madison. He should have been deported. Instead, he was released back into the community and went on to assault several more women, including a 13-year-old girl. Senator Tammy Baldwin voted 9 times to support federal funding for sanctuary cities that refuse to cooperate with immigration officials and release these dangerous criminals back onto our streets. And Senator Baldwin voted for amnesty for 11 million illegals, including convicted criminals. Call Senator Baldwin 608-264-5338. urge her to support S-1068, the Stop Dangerous Sanctuary Cities Act. Stop protecting illegal immigrants and start protecting Wisconsin. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
This is Brad Youngbooth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. We have two big humps in this business, right before summer and right after fall. And for us, that's when the lines are the longest. Folks usually choose to do their exterior work during those times, and what I'm trying to do here with this message is level out the flow of business so that we don't have to disappoint anyone come November and December because they were hoping to get their work done before the snow flies. I understand where the focus is during summer, but you know what? It really is a great time to get signed up for your exterior work, like siding and windows, because that's when the lines are the shortest, and it's the one time that we're pretty sure we're not going to get any snow. So if you're looking to get your work done, why put it off? The lines are shorter and we'll be ready. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, call Semper Fi, because you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
8:43 on Wisconsin's Morning News this Monday morning. How many times have you said, or maybe if not you, you've heard from others, family, friends, folks, who are talking about presidential elections, and not just this one. I don't like either of my choices, right? People say that. Well, I don't like it. I don't like this one, or I can't vote for that one, but I don't like it. Right.
Every election you hear that.
Fact is, we do have other choices. We just had a primary election in Wisconsin, and you saw many other parties on our partisan primary ballot. The Libertarian Party nominee for president is Chase Oliver. His running mate is Mike Termott. Mike is an economist, former law enforcement officer as well. He is campaigning here in Wisconsin this week. And the party's vice presidential nominee in studio with us this morning. Mike, good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be with you guys. I'm happy to be in Wisconsin complaining about eminent domain and a whole lot of other stupid things that government officials do to us.
We're off to a fantastic start here. Mike. So tell us a little bit more about your itinerary today, next couple of days as you spend time
Sure,
here.
Going out to Foxconn to do some video. I was at the DNC event yesterday, not inside. I don't want anyone to think that I have a pass to get inside. It doesn't quite work like that. As you might imagine, Democrats aren't real fond of libertarians. Later on today, I got a meeting in Madison, got to do some fundraising. We are not one of those parties that is awash in cash, if you know what I mean. So we work very hard at getting some attention and picking up the funds that we need to keep our candidates on the road.
Have you found any more interest coming from Republicans? Obviously, there are Republicans who are not fans of the former president. And libertarianism is generally a place that some of those Republicans would lean toward. Are you picking up some of those?
Oh, we do pick up some of those. By the way, we pick up a lot of disgruntled Democrats, too, which we can talk about. But you're right. Traditionally, the Republican Party has stood for a lot of things that we believe in. Free markets, a deregulated environment, pro-growth economics, free trade, right? All of those things are traditional bread and butter for the Libertarian Party. And I think one might argue that a lot of Republican politicians have moved away from that. I was a Republican myself many years ago. If you joined the Republican Party for the reasons that I did as an economist, as a young fiscally conservative economist, I think that you have seen your party walk away from you. And I would say to those people out there who are like me, welcome home to the Libertarian Party.
Mike Termott is the vice presidential nominee for the Libertarian Party. He is in studio with us this morning. Let's talk about foreign policy, Mike, because that's an area where and tell me if this is an unfair characterization, but oftentimes when I hear folks talk about the Libertarian Party, they say, well, they're isolationists. Would you use that term to describe that position in your platform or not?
Absolutely not. That's a term that Republicans and Democrats like to attach to libertarians when they're mad at us. We actually believe that we should be engaging with the rest of the world in a more robust fashion than we are. I firmly believe that our militaristic style of foreign policy keeps us from engaging with the rest of the world in a real robust economic fashion. This idea of having tariffs and other roadblocks to economic trade really hurts Americans in the pocketbook. And I believe that a lot of folks around the world, I have traveled to dozens and dozens of nations around the world. And I find that a lot of folks love Americans, love our economy, love to do business with us, and absolutely hate our foreign policy. They resent it. They don't understand it, and I don't think most Americans would agree that our foreign policy aligns with our own ethics.
There is one third-party candidate, I'll say, that has been in the news quite a bit in RFK, right? We've heard a lot about Kennedy, and we've also heard about interactions potentially with the Harris campaign and with the Trump campaign. Have you guys had any interactions with either of those campaigns?
No. It is not true that Kamala Harris wants to hear from Chase Oliver or me or anybody else from the Libertarian Party.
Thank you for confirming that.
Yeah, thought I should put an end to that rumor straight away. Chase is, of course, the head of the Libertarian Party ticket. He is our nominee for president.
Sure.
He is not someone who is likely to be chosen by the Kamala Harris administration for a position. He's all about, as I am, limiting the reach of government and getting it out of our lives, and that doesn't seem to be the policy of the Democratic Party these days. I think it's a little bit sad, actually, on behalf of the Bobby Kennedy campaign. I've met Mr. Kennedy a couple of times. I think he's basically a good guy. But I find it sad that he would reach out to the Harris campaign and, in effect, offer to drop out of the race. That breaks my heart. You know, his policies and ours go in two different directions in a lot of ways. But the idea of having an independent voice, I think, really matters. You know, we need to be supporting that, not limiting our choices.
What about the Trump campaign, though? Have they reached out to you guys?
They, not directly, but sort of indirectly in the sense that Trump was at our convention, made a pitch. It was a little bit disconcerting. There were a lot of people yelling at each other, Trumpers there yelling at libertarians and vice versa. But we were able to find some common ground, and it was good to hear from President Trump. He is a guy who has, of course, anti-establishment instincts. And so a lot of libertarians appreciate that very much. We wish he would follow through on a lot more free market principles and free trade principles. But, we'll take what we can get from time to time.
Mike Dermott is in studio with us. He is the vice presidential nominee for the Libertarian Party. So let me nail you down on a few sort of policy things so that folks who are hearing from the Libertarian Party, probably for the first time, can kind of get your ideology. Let's talk economy. Inflation, a huge problem.
Huge problem.
How do we approach bringing prices, not just slowing inflation, but actually moving backwards and bringing prices down?
You've got to stop the government from spending so much money. All of our economic problems come from the fact that the government has too broad a scale and too deep a scope. The government has spent so much money that now we're in trouble fiscally at the federal government level. I don't think most economists would give the government of the United States more than a couple of decades before we find the government equivalent of a bankruptcy. You know, they are really, really in deep trouble. But this is what brings the pressure on the Federal Reserve System to buy up all of that debt, and that's where inflation comes from. And, of course, that's where high taxes come from, is the government spending too much money, too. So all of these evils come from the fact that the government is spending too much money. We need to cut back on that.
Ceasefire talks underway once again in the Middle East. What would your approach in the White House be to handling the situation between Israel, protecting the Palestinian people in Gaza, but at the same time defending Israel's right to defend itself? How do you approach that?
Pressuring for a ceasefire is a good idea, but the way that we got into this was one bad idea after another. We firmly believe that other nations and the United States need independent foreign policies. We should not be passing out foreign aid for a couple different reasons. One is I just don't find it an ethical proposition to be taking money away from Wisconsiners or people in Illinois where I grew up or anywhere else around the United States, many of whom can't afford it, by the way, and using that money to send to other nations' government for the sake, in many cases, of propagating war. I just don't think that's an ethical proposition. And as a practical matter, what does it buy you? It does not buy you influence with these governments. That has been proven. The Netanyahu government has told the White House to go pound sand more than once. So you don't actually buy anything. And at the end of the day, what have you? You've got an obligation to explain someone else's foreign policy. The reason people are mad at the White House over the Israeli government's behavior is because we have linked our foreign policies together. They need to be delinked. I agree with you. Israel has a right to defend itself. And we might disagree with the way that they're doing it. There's plenty the Israeli government has done to irritate people around the world, right? But that should be their foreign policy, not ours. We should not have backed ourselves into a corner where we have to defend someone else's policy.
So I can get to the second question, Mike, let me ask you this question first. The second question being, how do we reach viability for alternate party candidates? But the first question is, as you know well here in Wisconsin, by all historic lessons, this is going to be a razor-thin race between former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. Barring the unforeseen, one of these two is going to win Wisconsin. And as Wisconsin goes, so could go the nation. How does a voter not see it here in Wisconsin as a lost vote if they go, say, with a libertarian ticket?
If you're voting for a Republican Party, you're sending a signal to that party that you think it's on the right track. And the same thing with the Democratic Party. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say most people actually don't feel that way. And so if you want change, you're going to have to vote for it, because that's the way to pressure these parties into moving in the direction that you want them to move in. Once in a while, you're going to have to disappoint a politician. I know that breaks some people's hearts, but you're going to have to disappoint a politician and hold back a vote and vote for your ethics, your principles, your values. Vote for the change that you want. If you don't, you're wasting your vote.
But has that worked in the past? I mean, we saw what Perot did and how that affected that election with Clinton and Bush. We saw Nader and how that affected the Bush and Gore. Did that change how those parties have reacted since then?
In the long run, yes. You did see parties take into consideration a certain populist attitude that Perot was championing. I might argue that that's a bad idea, right? Ross Perot and I don't have a tremendous amount of overlap, except for the fact that we do hate the establishment and we feel like the government has done a lot of stupid things. I'll give him that. But having someone championing those ideas, using a national presidential election campaign to do so, is an effective way to get those ideas into mainstream politics and get the parties to move in your direction. So, yeah, it may have irritated some people at the time. Look, I was a Republican at the time. So in 92, I was pretty grumpy that Ross Perot was taking a lot of votes from the Bush campaign. I get that. But if you wanted the Bush campaign to move in that direction, that was the way to do it.
Mike Tremont is the vice presidential nominee for the Libertarian Party. He is on the ballot here in Wisconsin. Chase Oliver on the top of the ticket. Mike, thanks so much for your time today.
Absolutely my pleasure. You guys are good looking for radio hosts, by the way. I don't know if your audience is aware of that.
All right. I'm so much better looking on the radio than I was on TV. It's amazing. Thanks, Mike. 8:54, Wisconsin's Morning News. One more time before 9 o'clock here, Debbie.
All right. Northbound on 43, we are seeing delays from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past Keefe. Southbound side's going to be slow from Hampton down past Keefe as well. Westbound 94 is cleared up nicely. We do have eastbound with some pockets of heavy traffic from about 68th Street all the way to 35th. Westbound 894, your usual slowdowns west of 27th Street all the way to 68th. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic is sponsored by Two Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at twomenandajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
There's only one place to go for your full post-game Brewers breakdown. Brewers Extra Innings with Dom Catronio.
There's no such thing as perfect. Man, that was as close to a perfect of a game as you can have.
In-depth analysis on every game. Hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, and a whole lot of highlights.
Back goes Hampson at the track. Wall, goal!
Catch Brewers Extra Innings after every Brewers game on the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here. Boy, what a weekend, right? You were out there, maybe you were paddle boarding, maybe you were golfing, you were hiking, you were doing it all, and now you're feeling it, right? That pain from the arthritis in your joints, the bone-on-bone constant pain, your back is acting up, your knees are barking. You want to get help, but you don't want surgery. Well, there is another way. It's QC Kinetics. If you're living with chronic pain from injury or arthritis, you need not just steroids. You don't need to get drugs. You don't need to have surgery. You don't need pain pills. QC Kinetics can do it. It can accelerate your own body's healing properties by revitalizing your joints so they can move again. Here's what you do. You get a consultation, a free consultation from one of the clinicians in Greenfield or in Mequon. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Set yourself up a meeting and learn if QC Kinetics works for you. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474.
Buying a home should be a joy, but could you imagine doing this without a realtor? Paperwork, inspections, appraisals, deadlines, showings, market research? Or you could relax. Or understanding legal documents, negotiating offers, coordinating inspections, securing finance. Oh, sorry. A realtor can take the stress out of the home buying process. See how at wra.org/a-realtor-can. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Realtors Association.
Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. I have 75 degrees today under breezy conditions, partly cloudy with an isolated afternoon shower or sprinkle possible. Tonight, mainly clear, low down to 59.
Some breaking news, CNN reporting that Phil Donahue has passed away. Donahue, who actually has Chicago connections too. Obviously, longtime talk show host, was at it for a long time, obviously retired for many years, but passing away today.
First show that we all knew of that genre, right? Phil Donahue, created this genre. Remember being on my house as a kid, right?
88 years old he was.
With no disrespect to Mr. Donahue, I thought...
You thought what?
I thought he was already...
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
8:58 on Wisconsin's Morning News. WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and the Political Power Hour are up next.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee